football comes to San Antonio as UTSA, in its first season at the FBS level, plays its first home conference game against San Jose State. Good afternoon, everybody. Good morning if you're on the West Coast. Jonathan Yardley, Forrest Connolly with you. We think we've got a good one today. UTSA in its first season started 5-0. They're 1-0 in WAC play. They think they're a contender. San Jose State is a contender. Preseason number 3 in the WAC. Got off to an 0-1 start in conference play last week. And for both of these teams, Forrest, it starts up front.
And you said it, Jonathan. This is a tale of two lines. San Jose State, albeit, has one of the most efficient QBs in the nation, but they gave up an astonishing 13 sacks last week. And UTSA, on the other hand, has been great all year long, giving up their first and only sack of the season last week.
That brings us to our key players for today's game. We start with San Jose State defensive end Travis Johnson, one of the nation's best pass rushers.
12 straight games with a tackle for loss. He leads the Western Athletic Conference with 7.5 sacks and is 6th overall in the NCAA, and he is looking to wreak havoc this afternoon.
On the other side, the big story is at quarterback for UTSA. Sjsu has started every game in program history. Unavailable today due to a hip injury suffered against Rice. That means Ryan Polite is going to get the call.
And Ryan Polite, the youngster, is a dual-threat QB, which I think could pose a threat to San Jose State and Travis Johnson's ability to rush the quarterback. Because of him being a dual threat, now Travis Johnson has to make sure, as well as the other defensive ends, that you don't allow him to get outside the pocket and make a play, because I'm sure that if he gets nervous, he will run the football.
We're going to be excited to see Polite's first collegiate start. He did play against Rice last weekend. We turn to the head coaches for this afternoon's ball game. For San Jose State, Mike McIntyre, in his third season trying to turn this program around, recently extended all the way through 2017. He thinks he's got a team that can compete for the conference title. On the other side, Larry Coker at UTSA has done it all, seen it all in his days at Miami, now in his second season leading this UTSA program, and boy do they have the facilities and the recruiting resources to compete right away. Kickoff is coming up next. UTSA 1-0 in WAC play. San Jose State 0-1. We'll see who gets the win this afternoon. Kickoff coming your way next.
I mean, we've been here for 5 hours and it only feels like 4.
Feels like 4 tops.
This year, we're finally getting everything that we didn't get last year.
Yeah.
The big screen.
True 4G.
Yep.
Hey, what'd you just do?
Oh, I just sent him a playlist.
Like touching phones.
Yep. Simple as that.
It's the Galaxy S3.
I'll see you at the studio later.
When do you think we're going to be able to do that thing on the next one?
The next big thing is already here, the Samsung Galaxy S3.
Wouldn't it be cool if we took the Nissan Altima and reimagined nearly everything in it? Introducing the most innovative Altima ever. Nissan, innovation that excites.
Welcome into the Alamo Dome in San Antonio. UTSA and San Jose State in a key WAC battle. If San Jose State's going to make a run at the conference title, they're going to need a win today. And if UTSA is going to keep that Cinderella slipper on, they're going to have to pull one out today. Forrest, your keys to the game.
But when you talk about both of these teams, there are certain keys that they need. If you're San Jose State, you want to protect your quarterback. You look 13 sacks last week, and they've got a chip on their shoulder. They came into last week's ball game on a 4-game winning streak, and the coaches talked about executing as evidenced by them getting 467 yards passing, but they did not play well. And if you're UTSA, you've got to continue to create turnovers and use your speed against the size of the San Jose State ball club.
UTSA won the coin toss and will receive the opening kickoff as they file in here at the Alamo Dome. A record for a first-year program with average attendance upwards of 30,000 last year. They're expecting about that many today. This is by far the biggest opponent they have played in this stadium. Kenny Harrison back deep to receive the opening kickoff for UTSA. Wade with the boot, and here we go. Harrison from the 7. Gets out across the 20, but a flag flies as UTSA will prepare to come out on offense. So we'll see if that pushes them back. It usually does on the kick return.
Illegal block in the back. Number 83 of the receiving team doing the run back. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
So Cole Hubble called for the penalty, and UTSA will start inside its own 15. Larry Coker not pleased with that start. But there's a look at Ryan Polite, redshirt freshman from DeSoto High School, a football factory there. He was the 9th quarterback in Texas high school history to pass for 10,000 yards. But here, they actually think of him as more of a running quarterback. He's the best running quarterback Larry Coker has. And he starts out of the shotgun. It's a give to Evans Okacha running right. And Okacha out across the 15 for a big gain on first down. Okacha, one of 2 tailbacks we'll see on the day. As we get a look at the starters, David Glasgow is the other. Holmes, Jones, and Harrison, the wide receivers. Jeremiah Miller, tight end, could be crucial in protection today. And up front for UTSA, that offensive line that Forrest talked about has only given up 1 sack all year. It came last week. This time under center, Polite going to option right. And they have the first down with Brandon Armstrong taking the pitch and getting out across the 20. On the San Jose State side of the ball, their pass rush and their defensive front is fearsome. But they weren't able to handle the option on that early carry.
And early in this ball game, what you see UTSA doing is getting to the edges and using that speed I talked about in the open. I think that is where they can be very successful, use their speed against the size of San Jose State.
5 wide receivers now for Polite as they switch their personnel groupings, and down he goes. Travis Raciti tripped him up in the backfield for the first sack of the game. Raciti, one of the tackles, getting through. You see he and Larseval in the middle. Travis Johnson, David Tuitupo, the ends. Everybody is a threat in the pass rush there. Muwava, Buhajer, and Smith, a trio of excellent linebackers for the Spartans. And the secondary a little thinner. Bene Benwickery in for the injured Ogburn at corner. And the safeties James Orth and Cullen Newsom. 2nd and 15 here for UTSA. And not much room at the line of scrimmage there as San Jose State forces a 3rd and very long, stopping Nate Shaw at the line.
And the problem with that play, you saw size, take advantage on that play. They got penetration, so the pulling guard, Josh Walker, was not able to get around and get up in the hole, which did not allow the back to get to the second-level defenders. That could be a problem as this game moves forward and progresses. They've got to continue to work the outside edges, which will then give them gap space to open up to run inside.
3rd and 15 here. Okacha in the backfield to help protect Polite, and his offensive line moved. He was going with the hard count. San Jose State jumped, but so did UTSA.
Ball start, number 76. Offense, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
So 3rd and 20, and although they have gotten a first down on this drive, not the start Ryan Polite wanted. On the other hand, at Rice last week, it took him 3 drives before getting a first down as UTSA suffered its first loss of the season. San Jose State sideline looking on with 3rd and 20 facing UTSA here. They need to get to the 32. And simple give up the middle. Armstrong gets close to it. He won't get the first down, but a big gain up the middle, catching San Jose State by surprise. UTSA, though, is going to have to punt.
If you look at this play, San Jose State looked like they were looking for the pass, and the back was able to get up to the second-level defenders before he had to make a move. And this bodes well for the UTSA offense moving forward. They've got to continue to run to the outside, run to the inside also to keep the defense honest. And I think as the game progresses, this will allow them to open up this offense a little bit more with the young quarterback.
Josh Ward into punt for UTSA. This has been a trouble spot, the lowest punting average in the WAC. Gets it away very high, and Ronnie Yell not going to take any chances, and it's inside the 40-yard line. That's where San Jose State will start. When we come back, no score in the early going. San Jose State will get the ball. When we come back, don't go away.
Introducing a reason to look twice. Introducing a stunning work of technology. The entirely new Lexus ES and the first ever ES Hybrid. This is the pursuit of perfection.
Truckers know towing 9,000 pounds up a steep grade ain't good for your tranny. And when the heat's on, failure ain't an option. This truck's got a 6-speed aluminum tranny and a big old dedicated fluid cooler. So when it's cooking on the outside, this truck won't break a sweat. Available on the full-size Toyota Tundra.
Cool. I won again. Monopoly at McDonald's is awesome. 1 in 4 winners. Hard to beat those odds.
I can. I'm moving to San Diego.
Why?
It's the luckiest city in America. It's got the most sweepstakes winners and the fewest lightning strikes.
Doesn't matter where you are. It's still 1 in 4.
Just the same, I think I prefer San Diego.
It's the 20th edition of Monopoly at McDonald's, and 1 in 4 wins. With over $300 million in cash and great prizes, it's the most prizes ever. The simple joy of winning.
I'm your lucky team flag. I'm just holding on by a thread. If you've got cut rate insurance, you could be dealing with this mess yourself. So get Allstate.
Mayhem is everywhere. Are you in good hands?
Here at the Alamo Dome, just underway. First possession for San Jose State after UTSA punted, and the Spartans start at their own 42. And the first give of the game goes to DeLeon Eskridge, and he's out across the 40-yard line. Nick Johnston, part of the crew, in on the tackle for UTSA. And a flag flies as we had a little pushing and shoving after the whistle. And we'll see which way that goes. Looked like one guy from each team was involved. And Larry Coker waits as our officials sort this out.
After the play, personal fouls by both teams. The penalty's offset, second down.
Robert Cameron, our referee, and indeed it was against both teams. And we thought San Jose State might come out trying to run the ball after they were forced to pass pretty much all of last game against Utah State. And Eskridge, the transfer from Minnesota, with a solid pickup on first down of about 5.
Well, they want to assert themselves as an offensive line. And what better way to do it than to lean on the defensive lineman?
David Fales, the quarterback, under center. This give is Irvin to the right-hand side. Breaks a couple of tackles and breaks into UTSA territory. As he got by Brandon Reeves, who was the first one to hit him, and Nick Johnston eventually brought him down.
What I liked about Irvin on that play, he was patient. He waited for his hole to open up before he got going north and south. If you watch him, he waits, he cuts back up, and then he gets hit at the second level. He continues to work his feet and get up the field, and that is positive by your running back.
10 yards for Irvin on the carry there. Now fails to throw, and it's behind Kyle Nunn. They weren't on the same page with their routes, and it'll be 2nd and 10. David Fales, one of the best in the country. He's second nationally in completion percentage with 75%. The only guy ahead of him is Geno Smith, so he's keeping pretty good company out of Monterey Peninsula College. This is his first year at the Division I FBS level.
And what I like about Fells, he's good at looking off the defensive backs and reading the defense and going through his progressions, and that is what makes him a very efficient quarterback.
The call goes to Eskridge, and he has another big gain. Jerron Harris and Stephen Kerfis in on the tackle for UTSA, but it's a gain of 7 yards on first down for San Jose State. We thought they might try to run the ball, and so far they've done it well.
And they're running the ball behind their bookend left offensive tackle, David Quisenberry. This is an NFL prospect, 6'6", 291 pounds, and he's showing that he can be dominant on that left side.
3rd and 3. Big play early here. Play action for Fells. Looking deep for Grigsby. Got it for a touchdown. Noel Grigsby puts San Jose State on the board. 5.5 minutes into this one.
And if you watch Grigsby on this play, he locates the ball. He gets it at its highest point. He did not allow the defensive back to make a play on the ball. The defensive back has to turn around. He has to locate the football. Watch Grigsby on this play. He looks, he sees where the ball is. He locates it at its highest point, and he does not allow the defensive back to make a play at all.
Crosby Adams, the corner, actually fell down on the play as Austin Lopez adds the extra point for San Jose State. The Spartans take the lead on the touchdown pass to Noel Grigsby. San Jose State 7, UTSA nothing. Roadrunners will try to answer when we come back.
Truckers know towing 9,000 pounds up a steep grade ain't good for your tranny. And when the heat's on, failure ain't an option. This truck's got a 6-speed aluminum tranny and a big old dedicated fluid cooler. So when it's cooking on the outside, this truck won't break a sweat. Available on the full-size Toyota Tundra.
Cool. I won again. Monopoly at McDonald's is awesome. 1 in 4 winners. Hard to beat those odds.
I can. I'm moving to San Diego.
Why?
It's the luckiest city in America. It's got the most sweepstakes winners and the fewest lightning strikes.
Doesn't matter where you are. It's still 1 in 4.
Just the same, I think I prefer San Diego.
It's the 20th edition of Monopoly at McDonald's, and 1 in 4 wins. With over $300 million in cash and great prizes, it's the most prizes ever. The simple joy of winning.
Hey, so what do you think? Is Coach going to pull right in or back into his spot?
No brainer. He pulls right in.
Predict Coach Corso's pick each week. You could win an all-new Chevrolet Malibu and a trip to the Discover BCS National Championship game. Visit ESPN.com/Chevrolet.
Back here at the Alamo Dome, it is homecoming for UTSA. Only their 2nd year with a football program. And they are trailing 7-0 under Larry Coker. Again, off to a 5-1 start, but only 2-1 against FBS programs. One of which was South Alabama, which is still transitioning. Their first win over an FBS team was their conference opener against New Mexico State. San Jose State up 7-0, trying to right the ship after losing to Utah State last week and making good progress so far. Harrison takes the kickoff in the end zone, and he will keep it there. UTSA will start from its own 25-yard line on this 2nd possession. They moved the ball a little bit, Forrest, on the first possession. Will we see more of the option here, do you think?
Well, I think you'll start to see this team continue to get to the outside, test the outside corners, and what that does is that makes the defensive ends for San Jose State play, consistent football and play honest and not come up the field at this young quarterback. But I want to see how they respond, because they've given up another sack now. So that's 2 sacks that this offensive line has given up in, consecutive weeks now.
Brandon Armstrong keeps out of the backfield and only gets back to the line of scrimmage. Travis Johnson got to him. It won't quite be that tackle for loss. He's trying to extend that streak to a 13th game, but they got pressure in the backfield.
And one way you eliminate a pass rusher and a guy that gets tackles for losses is you run right at him. A lot of times these guys that are great pass rushers don't like to get the ball run right at them, so you try and soften him up a little bit. So it's going to be interesting to see how they continue to progress offensively, because we still have to remember, Jonathan, there's a young quarterback back here. So is the full playbook open today?
Johnson on the right side of the San Jose line at the bottom of your screen. And Cam Jones gets the handoff in the backfield, was hit immediately and wrapped up for a loss. But the first hit came in the backfield. It was Keith Smith getting in there.
And I don't like that play at all, because you're going east and west as opposed to north and south. And when you look at this play, you allow this aggressive defense to get up the field. This is what San Jose State does best, is get penetration, and you allow them to get up the field. I think you have to use your speed. You have to go north and south. If you're going to go to the outside, it needs to be a quick hit play and allow your player to make a play.
3rd and 13. San Jose State jumped, flag flies. Polite wants to go downfield, and it's out of the hands of Aaron Holmes, who then got absolutely cleaned out by Cullen Newsome. Jumps to his feet. It's going to be a penalty against San Jose State anyway.
And that's what you do. You use the defensive aggression against them. You make them back. You make them react, as opposed to doing what they want to do. But
offside, number 43, defense, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
I'm a little disappointed, though. Some of the offensive players look like they stopped playing on that play, as opposed to understanding that is a free play. I think you go down the field and see what you can get done. But there's a young quarterback back there, so maybe he does not make that good decision.
I thought he made a great decision, though. He could have dumped it down to Glasgow, but he knew it was a free play. I'm going to try and get some more yardage, and he eventually tried to find Holmes.
I think you go deep on that play.
Still 3rd and long. He goes short looking for Grubb, and they weren't on the same page. It's out of bounds. And that's going to bring up 4th down, and UTSA will punt again.
And you're starting to see some of the problems with a young quarterback that may not be in sync with his receivers. I think as the game progresses, they may get, better synced, but they've got to do some plays that are going to be successful, because you start to mess with the quarterback's psyche if they don't get success early in this ball game.
Josh Ward, the sophomore from Pleasanton, Texas, back to punt. Ronnie Yell deep to receive. High spiral. And Yell with a fair catch at the 34-yard line. And that's where San Jose State will take over. Plenty of hang time on that to limit the return game. And we'll see if UTSA's defense can fare better after a 39-yard punt by Ward.
Well, they've got to forget the last play, and they've got to be focused on what they can do better this series, and that is stop this offense. You do not need to allow fails in this offense to get in sync and continue to feel like they can go deep and to get big plays.
DeLeon Eskridge, the tailback. Leah Ina, the fullback. Behind Fails. Play action on 1st down. Looking deep again. Jabari Carr has the catch. Down to the 21-yard line, and San Jose State is picking them apart early. 30th catch of the year for Jabari Carr, and that was a big one.
And if you look at this play, you give the quarterback time to read the offense. He sees he's got one-on-one coverage down the middle of the field. The safety is up. He's able to get the ball to where only his receiver can make a play on it. And we talked about his efficiency as a quarterback. You're starting to see that right now, Jonathan.
Tight end shift by San Jose State there. Eskridge, the lone back. And it's a reverse to Chandler Jones at the 10-yard line. Pushed out of bounds there by Eric Brown, the UTSA corner. But it's another 1st down for San Jose State. And they're putting on a clinic at the moment.
Well, they're running some misdirection plays. They're allowing their players to get out in space. You've got the tight end pulling around. You've got the receiver getting the ball. He does not see contact until he gets almost to the 3rd-level defenders.
San Jose State at the 10-yard line. It's 1st and goal. And at quarterback, it's Blake Jurich, who's more of a running quarterback but can throw out of the gun. Jurich keeps it himself. Blake Jurich cruises into the end zone. 3rd touchdown of the year, and San Jose State in control, up 13-0.
What's interesting about this play is Blake Jurish runs this play to the boundary side of the field. You don't often see teams run to the boundary side, which is the short side of the field. But because he's such a big kid, 6'4", 230 pounds, he can take a pounding if he meets one of the defenders in the hole.
That drive, 3 plays, 66 yards in a minute, and every play a big gainer. Austin Lopez, the freshman kicker out of Euless Trinity High School up in the Dallas area, adds the extra point, and San Jose State now on top 14-0. UTSA will get the ball back when we come back, but right now it's all San Jose State. Spartans up 14-0.
The first look is only the beginning. Introducing a stunning work of technology. Introducing the entirely new Lexus ES and the first ever ES Hybrid. This is the pursuit of perfection.
Power was very important to me. We test drove the Camry, took it on the freeway, and it was just like, this was the car for me.
It had stuff that guys liked, like the rims and the sleekness to the body, and then had the Bluetooth and the navigation that Diane really wanted.
And it was an SE, so it felt really grounded to the ground.
Grounded to the ground?
Yes, grounded to the ground.
See their story and more at the Camry Effect. Camry from Toyota.
Cool. I won again. Monopoly at McDonald's is awesome. 1 in 4 winners. Hard to beat those odds.
I can. I'm moving to San Diego.
Why?
It's the luckiest city in America. It's got the most sweepstakes winners and the fewest lightning strikes.
Doesn't matter where you are. It's still 1 in 4.
Just the same, I think I prefer San Diego.
It's the 20th edition of Monopoly at McDonald's, and 1 in 4 wins. With over $300 million in cash and great prizes, it's the most prizes ever. The simple joy of winning.
I'm your lucky team flag. I'm just holding on by a thread. If you've got cut rate insurance, you could be dealing with this mess yourself. So get Allstate.
Mayhem is everywhere. Are you in good hands?
Back here at the Alamo Dome in San Antonio, Jonathan Yardley and Forrest Connolly with you, and San Jose State welcoming UTSA to conference football 14-0. The Spartans already on top. They have been in control on offense and pretty effective on defense in the early going, as Harrison Wade prepares to kick off for the 3rd time already. Kenny Harrison back deep to receive again for the Roadrunners. Homecoming not turning out to be very jubilant so far. Harrison from the 7 has some room on the right side, but is down short of the 25-yard line. And UTSA will start at its own 23. Mike McIntyre fired up, talking to Forrest Hightower there, as I think San Jose State has already gone a long way to erasing any lingering taste from that loss to Utah State last week.
But what'll be interesting is to see if UTSA now gets into passing mode, and if they do, we'll start to see San Jose State play with their stand-up defensive ends to try and be able to react to some of these quick screens and quick passes.
Polite out of the shotgun, rolls to his left, under pressure, and just throws it away. Hit as the play ended by Keith Buhajer, the middle linebacker. And it'll be 2nd and 10. Really didn't get the time there he wanted to set his feet and look downfield.
And if you watch on that play what they did, they allowed the running back to chip on Travis Johnson to eliminate his pass rush, but you blitzed in the middle linebacker to get additional pressure on the young quarterback, which I expect them to continue to do throughout this ball game.
UTSA will stay spread, 2 wide receivers to each side. Evans Okacha on the right-hand side, a lot of running room, and he's near the 1st down marker. Evans Okacha out of Coppell, Texas, playing with a heavy heart. A dear friend of his younger brother's and a Coppell football player passed away earlier this week, and Evans Okocha wearing 21 in his honor.
And as you see again, once they get to the edge, they're able to get positive yards. You use the strength and the downhill rush of San Jose State against them by running to those edges. I think that will open up the middle, and that will protect this young quarterback.
Okocha's younger brother transferred from Oklahoma, Bennett Okocha, and is sitting out this year as a transfer. Short gain on first down there as the middle of the San Jose State line. Travis Rosidi and company plugged the gap pretty effectively. I beg your pardon. They were short of the first down initially. That gave them the first down. Second first down of the game for UTSA. They're out at the 34-yard line. Nate Shaw in at fullback, Armstrong the tailback. Option right, Polite going to keep, and he's stuffed after a short gain. Sean Bacon in on the tackle, as well as Anthony Larseval for San Jose State.
And that was a tough play to begin with because they're running to the short side of the field with the option. So you've got the flow going to that side of the field. So the quarterback did the best thing he could do at that point, which is keep the ball and turn it up the field and try and get as much positive yards as he could. You don't want to pitch that ball right there because there's not a lot of space and anything can happen.
2nd and 8 for UTSA at the 36. Polite quick toss finds Kenny Bias at the 40-yard line. He dropped the football. San Jose State falls on it. Turnovers have gone UTSA's way all season, but they start to turn there. Cullen Newsome fell on it for San Jose State.
And Kenny Bias has to do a better job of holding on to the football. It was a short comeback route. He's got positive yards. You know, if you can't get any additional yards, get down, but he allowed the defensive back to punch the ball while he was bringing him down.
Jimmy Pruitt, the freshman out of San Diego. Watch him knock the ball out right there with his trailing hand. And Newsome fell on it. It's only the 4th turnover by UTSA this year. They came in leading the country in turnover margin per game, and -1 today, and in some big trouble, down 14-0, and having given prime field position to San Jose State. Fales will start out of the shotgun at the 36. Tyler Irvin wide open down the left sideline. He'll go all the way for the touchdown. Out of the backfield, the wheel route, and Tyler Irvin makes it San Jose State 20, UTSA nothing.
And that had to be some miscommunication with the defensive back and the safety because both guys stopped on the short route. They both looked like they were looking into the backfield. And I talked about Fales' ability to look off defensive backs and to read his receivers, and you see it right there. That's why he's so efficient.
Austin Lopez again on for the extra point. His 3rd of the day, no trouble for him. And this is the San Jose State we expected to see after they opened the season with that close loss to Stanford, picked to finish in the top 3 in the WAC. They were competitive against Utah State last week, but disappointed in their performance and the outcome. And this is the offensive powerhouse. Nobody picking up Irvin, who is their best receiver out of the backfield.
And you see the small shoulder pump. That little bit of a shoulder pump stopped the defensive backs, and the receiver was able to get behind them. And as a defensive back, you do not want to let anyone get behind you. You want to keep everything in front of you. And you see the defensive back bite on that play, and the receiver is wide open.
Second touchdown pass of the day for Fales. First receiving touchdown of the year for Irvin, his 2nd overall. And San Jose State now, with 2 passing touchdowns today, they have 16 passing touchdowns on the season. Last year, the entire year, they had 13. And so David Fales, the junior college transfer, and a pretty talented receiving core are going to be a threat in this WAC race. Louisiana Tech still the favorite. Utah State ahead of San Jose State based on that win last week. Kenny Harrison already his 4th kick return. And we got 5 minutes to go in the first quarter. He's got some room here. Harrison out across the 35. The kicker, Wade. And Forrest Hightower in on the tackle, but maybe that can get this UTSA crowd back into the game.
And one thing I liked about what Harrison did on that kickoff return is he switched the ball to his outside hand, preventing the defense from trying to strip it from him. And that is what you need to be doing. You have to be conscious of where you're carrying the football. Watch him. He sees the defense coming on. He switches the ball. He's able to use that inside hand to try and shield the defenders off and get additional yards.
UTSA will start at its own 37, the best field position of the day. Low snap. Polite to throw over the middle. He overthrew Aaron Holmes, who had a step and would have had first down yardage had it been on the money.
And he had Aaron Holmes open for a while across the middle. I think he second-guessed himself as opposed to just getting the ball to him. And there's a young quarterback. It's still a maturation process for him. He needs to be able to just feel comfortable back there, get the ball to his receivers, and allow them to try and make plays for him.
1 for 4 for 2 yards through the air right now for Polite. Okacha with him in the backfield. Another passing play, gets pressure, dumps it down to Evans Okacha. And a hard hit there by Ben Wickery on the far sideline. 21 against 21. And I think Ben Wickery got the better of that one, which is rare against Okacha.
Well, Ben Wickery welcomed him to major college football with this hit. Textbook shoulder pad down, and he gets him down. This is a big third down for UTSA. I think they need to get a first down. They need to continue to try and drive the ball down the field, give their defense some rest.
3rd and 3. 3 wide receivers to this left-hand side. And timeout. Nope, flag flies in the backfield for delay of game as the play clock expired. And that was interesting because UTSA snuck Brian Vaughn into the game, a true freshman from Fort Worth, at running back. And I don't know that San Jose State knew what he was going to bring to the table, but play clock expired before we got to find out.
And this is what frustrates the coach. Finally got some good things going on a drive, and you've got 3rd and short, and now you've got 3rd and long.
3rd and 8. Brandon Armstrong in the backfield. Keep an eye on him here. Polite under pressure, spins, looking downfield, and it's too high through the hands of the defender Newsome in the end. And UTSA is going to have to punt again. He created space, but again, the accuracy on the throw just wasn't there.
And when you get a young quarterback moving around, he's not being able to set his feet and get the ball down the field effectively. And this is a telltale sign of what we may see throughout this ball game.
Josh Ward on to punt again. And a bad snap over his head. Pressure at the goal line. Who falls on it in the end zone? There's a scramble. No signal yet. It's a touchdown. San Jose State fell on it. We'll wait and see who comes out of the pile with it. And it's Chris Carney, the backup wide receiver. One of those in there.
And the kicker was better off just trying to kick the ball out of the back of the end zone as opposed to trying to recover it, because you've got more defenders coming for the ball than you have offensive players at this point. This is a tough break for this UTSA ball club.
27-0. As Lopez adds the extra point. And it is a stunned atmosphere in the Alamo Dome right now. We're going to look back at this. Snap just not close for Ward.
And they've had some problems with the punting. They've had a couple of times where the punter has been under a lot of pressure, and you have to wonder if during some of the timeouts he's talked to his center about getting the ball to him a little bit faster. And the center seemed to be a little bit more aggressive on that snap but the punter has to do a better job of kicking the ball out of bounds, giving up the 2 points, as opposed to allowing, the defense to recover that ball in the end zone and ultimately end up with another touchdown.
I believe they're going to credit Carney with it. David Freeman was there as well. I don't know that anybody really had a good grasp on it, but Mike McIntyre is certainly in a better mood here than he was at the first quarter last week, because they were down 28-7 in the early going against Utah State last week. This week, another story. Kenny Harrison back deep to return. We'll see if he can create something here after a very good return last time out. This one carries toward the sideline and bounces out of bounds, and that's a break for UTSA, as they'll get great field position here as they try to just get anything going offensively.
Illegal kick out of bounds by the kicking team. Ball replaced at the 35-yard line. First down.
San Jose State in control, up 28-0 here. We got to look at what's coming up for the Spartans. Texas State, another transitioning to FBS level team next week, at Idaho, at New Mexico State. Those are not the tough games on their schedule. BYU and La Tech both at home in November. Those are going to be big games. UTSA trying to go to the running game, and David Glasgow stopped well behind the line of scrimmage for a 3-yard loss on the play.
And if you're the UTSA ball club right now, you can't hold your head down. You've got to continue to work hard and use this as a learning mechanism. There's still a maturation process for this young ball club. I think you still need to try to get to the outside with some of these stretch plays because of the speed.
Derek Muwava, redshirt sophomore from Independence High School in San Jose, in on the tackle there. Polite short side option. Going to keep it himself. Spins, loses the football. And we'll wait see again at the 35-yard line. Who has it? Already 2 turnovers by UTSA. And it's 3. At the bottom of the pile, Raciti and Larseval, but I think Raciti came away with it. 3 turnovers in the first quarter, doubling UTSA's season output. As you look at Tui Tupou, who had the hit on Polite.
Well, they continue to run the option to the short side of the field, and I just don't understand that play right there, because you don't give your offense many options. You know you've got a young quarterback. I think you should run it to the wide side of the field to give him more options to either pitch the ball or have more gaps to get up the field north and south.
San Jose State takes over at the 36-yard line. Eskridge gets the call on first down. Bowls his way to the 30-yard line. DeLeon Eskridge, in high school, he broke the record for career touchdowns at Sarah High School in San Mateo. Guess whose record he broke? Lynn Swan. It's pretty good company to keep.
Definitely great company to keep. And I'm interested to see how often they give him the ball. With the 28-0 lead in the first quarter, they'll now get to work on that running game that they did not get established last week, and that will continue to take some of the pressure off of Fales.
Eskridge still in there at tailback. He gets the carry, plowing forward near the first down marker at the 26-yard limit. I think he'll be just short of it. Eskridge in his lone year at San Jose State, after beginning his career at Minnesota, where he scored the first touchdown in TD Bank Stadium history.
Well, what I like about this offense, when they're in single back sets, they motion the tight end over as the lead block, and then they have a pulling guard coming around, getting up in the hole, which allows the back to get to the second level defenders before he has to make a move.
Tyler Irvin in the backfield. The carry goes to Ina Leaina, the fullback, and he plows forward for the first down. A rare carry for Leaina, the native of American Samoa. Used more as a blocker or as a receiver out of the backfield. out of Rio Mesa High School in Oxnard, California. So first down for San Jose State at the 23-yard line. Already up 28-0 as the clock runs under 30 seconds in this first quarter. Quick out, looking for Jones, and the pass bounced, and even David Fales will admit that one didn't quite muster up. It'll be 2nd and 10 for San Jose State as they try and add to this, what has been total domination of the first quarter. Eskridge again in the backfield alongside Fales, who's back to throw. Looks for Jones, hits him this time, and knocked out of bounds by Darian Starling. Down to the 16-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd and 3. And they wind the clock now, and we'll see if that takes us to the end of the first quarter or if San Jose State will run one more play here. Looks like they will switch ends. All Spartans in the first quarter. San Jose State 28, UTSA nothing. Second quarter action coming up when we come back.
The first look is only the beginning. Introducing a stunning work of technology. Introducing the entirely new Lexus ES and the first ever ES Hybrid. This is the pursuit of perfection.
Power was very important to me. We test drove the Camry, took it on the freeway, and it was just like, this was the car for me.
It had stuff that guys liked, like the rims and the sleekness to the body, and then had the Bluetooth and the navigation that Diane really wanted.
And it was an SE, so it felt really grounded to the ground.
Grounded to the ground?
Yes, grounded to the ground.
See their story and more at the Camry Effect. Camry from Toyota.
Cool. I won again. Monopoly at McDonald's is awesome. 1 in 4 winners. Hard to beat those odds.
I can. I'm moving to San Diego.
Why?
It's the luckiest city in America. It's got the most sweepstakes winners and the fewest lightning strikes.
Doesn't matter where you are. It's still 1 in 4.
Just the same, I think I prefer San Diego.
It's the 20th edition of Monopoly at McDonald's, and 1 in 4 wins. With over $300 million in cash and great prizes, it's the most prizes ever. The simple joy of winning.
I'm your lucky team flag. I'm just holding on by a thread. If you've got cut rate insurance, you could be dealing with this mess yourself. So get Allstate.
Mayhem is everywhere. Are you in good hands?
One quarter in the books at the Alamo Dome, and San Jose State in good shape, looking for its first win of the conference season. Already up 28-0, faced with a 3rd down here. Pass looking for Ryan Otten, the outstanding tight end, and he's locked up, and it looks like he'll have the first down at the 11-yard line. Otten, who leads all FBS tight ends in yards per catch, didn't need all that many there. Got San Jose State to the 11 with a new set of downs. UTSA frantically changing personnel as San Jose State comes out in the I formation here. It's Eskridge. Beg your pardon, that was Irvin, and he did get inside the 10 on the carry.
And this allows the offense inside the red zone to work on their running game right now. When you have a lead of 28-0 coming into the second quarter with the ball inside the opponent's 10-yard line, you can work on some plays that you can't necessarily do in practice against your own ball club. So this is good work for the San Jose State offense.
Blake Jurich at quarterback again, scored on a keeper in the first quarter. He'll handle it again. This time he stood up Brandon Reeves, the linebacker. Blake Terry, the other linebacker, in on the hit as you look at Terry there. Something to cheer about for these Roadrunner faithful, as it's now 3rd and 6.
Well, it's about pride at this point. You give up 28 points in the first quarter. It's about pride right now. If they can hold San Jose State to a field goal, they feel good as a defense coming off the field, and they have something for the offense to say, okay, it's time for us to pick our ball game up also.
Fails to throw on 3rd down, looking for none. Incomplete. Knocked away by Darian Starling. Nunn had a sensational touchdown catch against Utah State on a similar play. Couldn't come up with this one.
And this is a great play by the defensive back. He locates the ball. He's able to use his hands and not allow the receiver to be very comfortable and bring the ball into his body.
Austin Lopez on. He will try a 24-yarder. He's 11 of 11 this season, most of them from close range. Knocks this one through, and San Jose State extends it to 31-0 early on. But as Forrest said, can UTSA recover, take some momentum from that, and try and, I guess, what's your goal at this point? Win the last 3 quarters?
Well, that was a moral victory for the defense. You have to look, the offense turned the ball over deep in their own territory. The defense is just coming off the field after giving up another touchdown, and they're able to hold these guys and not allow them to score, a touchdown. So that is great for the defense moving forward. They've got to continue to play with that emotion, continue to be motivated, but offensively, you've got to do a better job of allowing the game to be simplified for the young quarterback Polite. I think you get the ball to some of your backs out in open space. You allow them to make plays. They've been successful getting to the edges. I think you continue to get to the edge and use the strength and size of San Jose State against them.
UTSA has 3 ball carriers with negative rushing yards on the game. Okacha and Armstrong, though, both in positive numbers on the running side. And again, Polite 2 of 6 so far, just for 7 yards. Kenny Harrison will step up and take this one at the 9. And nice tackle by David Freeman, the running back, in on special teams, and held Harrison to the 14-yard line. We told you that UTSA would need to win the turnover battle. They have been getting killed in turnovers so far. 3 already forced by San Jose State.
And this is what you cannot do. You cannot catch the ball and not hold on to it. You've got to protect the football. When you're looking at this play right here, if the punter was to kick the ball out of bounds, they only give up 2 points. I think this is one of those momentum swing plays. And here you've got positive yards, but I don't like running to the short side of the field.
Well, they'll go from the shotgun again, starting from the 13. Polite keeps it. Neat moves to the right-hand side, tries to get it outside. And has a first down and more out across the 25-yard line.
And this is the exact same play that he fumbled on, but he's running to the wide side of the field, which gives him more options to get north and south. You've got pursuit coming to you as opposed to running to the pursuit to the short side of the field.
Polite, the redshirt freshman, with a 14-yard pickup there out to the 28-yard line. Fumbled snap. Polite picks it up and is locked up in the backfield, just dives forward across the 25-yard line. I was curious to see where that play was going. Had the exchange come off correctly.
Well, Kevin Brown, the offensive coordinator, as well as the quarterback's coach, has to be disappointed thus far. His quarterback has had some good plays, some positive plays, but then it seems every time they have a positive play, they have a setback, which puts them in 2nd and 3rd and long.
2nd and 12 here as they face exactly that. Fake to Okacha, Polite looking downfield. Aaron Grubb, incomplete, knocked away at the last second. And a man down for San Jose State at the end of the play. Looked like Ben Wickery on the coverage.
And this was a great throw by Polite. I think the receiver gave it away a little bit too early. I think if he continues to run down the field and looks up a little bit late, the defensive back does not have time to react, because the defensive back was not paying attention early in this play. He was able to make up ground and stick his hand out and tip the ball away.
Injury timeout for Ben Wickery, as he is still being looked at on the far side of the field. Both teams will collect themselves. That was Aaron Grubb trying to get behind the San Jose State defense. Ben Wickery never looked back for the ball, but as you said, watched the receiver's eyes and was able to get his hand in and interrupt the play.
And maybe if Polite puts a little bit more air up under the ball, you know, the receiver is able to run up under it, or if he throws it, you know, a little bit more on a rope, because you saw the defensive back, you know, get lost looking in the backfield. And I think UTSA has to do a little bit more of this, Jonathan, to keep this defense honest.
That hair you see dyed pink for Ben Wickery from San Jose State. That's in honor of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So Ben Wickery back on his feet and shaken up there, but we hope to see him back in the game later on. San Jose State 31, UTSA nothing. You saw it last week against Rice, a more established program, if not always a successful one. Same thing here today. They're being welcomed to the FBS to some of the bigger time schools.
But that's okay, because you find out what type of character your ball club has. This is homecoming. The crowd is still here. They're still supporting these young men, and they can only get better from games like this. This game is far from over. You still have an entire half to go, and we still got 11 minutes and 38 seconds in the second quarter. If they get a score right here and the defense continues to try and stop this offense, I'm not going to say this ball game is over yet.
Forrest is on the record.
You got to stay positive, Jonathan. You got to stay positive. This is a character-building moment for the UTSA program right now.
You look at Eric Sosa, unable to play today. Next week, UTSA takes on Utah State. Not sure if Sosa's going to be available for that one or not. They're saying it could be a 1 to 2 week injury. He did practice earlier this week, but by yesterday he wasn't taking any snaps. Don't want to take a chance on making it worse. And Eric Sosa has been the heart and soul of this offense really since arriving at UTSA as a transfer from Texas State. But right now, it's in Ryan Polite's hands. Looked good last week against Rice. Has had a little more trouble this afternoon. 5 wide receivers on 3rd and 12. Line jumped, flag flies, and he gets the pass away under heavy pressure. Brandon Armstrong shoved out of bounds, but UTSA is always going to accept the penalty unless they had picked up the necessary yardage.
This is what you do. You spread the defense out.
Well, they're also, they've gone with hard counts with the freshman quarterback, which you don't always see.
Offside, number 53, defense, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
So it'll be 3rd and 7 now. Just the 2nd penalty against San Jose State. Both of them on those offside calls. Marcellus Mack, wide receiver at the top of the screen, 1 of 3. They set up a screen to Evans Okacha. He's got running room. Okacha down the sideline. Evans Okacha gonna go. What a moment for Okacha, playing in honor of his Coppell High School family.
And this is what you do, Jonathan. You get your ball to your athletes out in open space. I've been saying it all game long. They can attack the edges of this defense from San Jose State because they are pinning their ears back. They're coming up the field. They're trying to use their brute strength to dominate this young ball club.
Evans Okocha came in 5th in the WAC in scoring, and he's going to stay in that race after that 69-yard catch and run. Christian Stern adds the extra point. UTSA trying to get back in it. San Jose State 31, UTSA 7. We'll be right back.
The first look is only the beginning. Introducing a stunning work of technology. Introducing the entirely new Lexus ES and the first ever ES Hybrid. This is the pursuit of perfection.
This is the car that loves to have fun, mile after mile, to and from. Now there are 4 for all to use, so the neighbors, your friends, everyone, the news, and let's hum, 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 let's hum. A Prius for everyone. Now there's a bigger one, if you want more space, a small one, if the city's your place, and even one you can plug in, so hop on in and get one to spin, and let's hum, 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 let's hum. A Prius for everyone.
Cool. I won again. Monopoly at McDonald's is awesome. 1 in 4 winners. Hard to beat those odds.
I can. I'm moving to San Diego.
Why?
It's the luckiest city in America. It's got the most sweepstakes winners and the fewest lightning strikes.
Doesn't matter where you are. Still 1 in 4.
Just the same, I think I prefer San Diego.
It's the 20th edition of Monopoly at McDonald's, and 1 in 4 wins. With over $300 million in cash and great prizes, it's the most prizes ever. The simple joy of winning.
I'm your lucky team flag. I'm just holding on by a thread. If you've got cut rate insurance, you could be dealing with this mess yourself. So get Allstate.
Mayhem is everywhere. Are you in good hands?
Evans Okocha, 69 yards for the score, playing with a heavy heart, playing with a different number, and still finding the end zone.
And this has to get this offense as well as defense going. Let's see how the defense responds. Remember, they stopped him and held him to a field goal the last series.
UTSA to kick off. Tyler Irvin takes it for San Jose State. First chance for him to return today. And he busts it across the 30, down the sideline. He could go. Cam Jones is chasing him. Irvin all the way, and San Jose State comes right back with a score of its own.
And you go from being a motivated team to what just happened. You have a big play, and on the kickoff after a big play, you give up a long return for a touchdown. That has to be terrible for this UTSA ball club that was looking like they were on an emotional up and they were ready to try and get back into this ball game.
We do have an injured UTSA player on the field behind the play. Sean Luchnick, senior safety who transferred from Penn State, just now getting to his feet. And that was one where the San Jose State doctors ran on the field because they were closest, which made you worry, but he's up on his feet and walking off.
And it's always good to see a young man be able to walk off under his own, pressure and not have someone to have to carry him off. So I like the fact that he's able to walk off on his own. Hopefully it's not a serious injury and he can get back into this ball game. But Jonathan, this has to hurt this UTSA team. They were on an emotional high. They had gotten a score. They had held the offense that had been scoring on them to 3 points. And I know the special teams coach told them coming out, do not give up the big play.
Austin Lopez will try to add yet another extra point here. That's the second special teams touchdown of the day for San Jose State, as Lopez knocks it through. And one of the injuries we hadn't talked about was UTSA's excellent kicker, Sean Iano. Josh Ward kicking off, or beg your pardon, Cundiff kicking off, wasn't able to get it as deep, and Irvin took advantage.
And if you watch this play, he goes up, he sees the lane, he makes a fake, poor tackling. You've got to make that initial tackle, because when he gets to the outside, you see the speed, and you cannot catch a speed guy when he gets the lane like he was able to right there. Right here, you see he's gone. You cannot catch him. There was a poor angle, and I don't think if he had a better angle, he would have been able to catch him on that play.
Iano had a game-winning field goal in their opener, and he's also sidelined with a hip injury, as is the quarterback Sjsu. And like Sjsu, they hope to get Iano back in early November for the stretch run, but right now I think it cost him there. And it's 38-7. On the bright side for UTSA, their offense now has some confidence and now gets the ball. See if they can make it 2 drives in a row. Wade's kickoff sails out of bounds again, and again UTSA will start at the 35. Harrison Wade, an outstanding punter, does the kicking off for San Jose State.
Out of bounds by the kicking team. Ball will be placed at the 35-yard line. First down.
Well, that's the second time he's kicked out of bounds today. And it gives Ryan Polite a chance to start not dealing with the shadow of his own end zone.
Well, if you're UTSA right now offensively, you continue to run to the outside, stretch the edges. You use the screen pass. You use the draw plays. You allow the pressure from San Jose State's defense to work against them.
Quick toss to Grubb on the far side. They want to isolate him out there with his speed, and he wants to reverse the field, coming all the way back. He's got some running room. And he goes a long way in the end for a 9-yard gain, and now flags fly from a couple of different spots on the field.
I think you've got an illegal cut on that play or block in the back, which is what you often see when players reverse field like he just did on that play.
I thought he was going to dive forward and just take his 5-yard gain. He decided to make something big out of it, but in the end it may have resulted in a penalty.
After the play, personal foul, number 27, offense, 15-yard penalty, second down.
Instead, it's a personal foul against Nate Shaw. And it's going to not erase the gain, but back UTSA up following the gain by Grubb. And they'll face second and long. Penalties have not been a big problem for UTSA this year.
Well,
epidemic, but they're hurting them here.
Well, that may have been a frustration penalty right there. You know, when you look at the score right now, you look at what's going on offensively for UTSA, there may have been frustration.
Polite back to throw. Looking deep downfield. Over the shoulder, Kenny Bias makes the catch into San Jose State territory at the 30-yard line. A lot of air under the throw, but Bias, great job of finding open space.
And one thing I like about that play, Bias knew he could possibly get it, but he kept his eyes on the football, and that is a great play by him. You see him going to the corner route. He's wide open. He knows that there might be someone under him, but he does not take his eyes off the football. And that is a great play by this receiver.
Kenny Bias has really come on lately. That was his 8th catch of the year. And he's over 150 yards receiving on the year now. Polite going to keep it himself, running with a little more confidence there. Short gain of about 2 yards. I think just completing those throws, as you see Keith Smith in on the tackle, just completing those throws has given Polite a lot more confidence.
Well, I think offensively they found some holes in this San Jose State defense, and they're exposing them right now. It'll be interesting to see if they can score on this drive. Can the defense come back out and stop them offensively?
2nd and 8. Short side option again, pitch to Armstrong and hit hard by Muava. And another short gain, but Derek Muava, a big hit.
I just don't like the short side option because it allows, you know, the defensive team in the pursuit to get to the play a little bit faster as opposed to running it to the wide side of the field and giving you a little bit more options as far as making the play.
3rd and 6 here. At the 26, Okacha is in the backfield. Harrison went in motion. Polite going for the end zone. Cole Hicks too far, and it's knocked away as well by Yell. Hicks had a step, but that one just hung in the air.
And once again, that's the holes that I think that this offense has found in his San Jose State defense. I think if he puts a little bit more on this ball as opposed to putting as much air up under it, we have another touchdown for UTSA.
4th and 6, and they're going to go for it here. Again, they don't have the range to kick a field goal here with Iano out. Polite stumbles, gets hit, taken down. Tuitupo, David Tuitupo got to him after he was trying to move to the right as the snap came. And San Jose State will take over at its own 35-yard line. We'll take a break. San Jose State will have it when we come back after this stop by David Tuitupo on Polite. San Jose State all over UTSA. We'll be right back.
Introducing a reason to look twice. Introducing a stunning work of technology. The entirely new Lexus ES and the first ever ES Hybrid. This is the pursuit of perfection.
Power was very important to me. We test drove the Camry, took it on the freeway, and it was just like, this was the car for me.
It had stuff that guys liked, like the rims and the sleekness to the body. And then had the Bluetooth and the navigation that Diane really wanted.
And it was an SE, so it felt really grounded to the ground.
Grounded to the ground?
Yes, grounded to the ground.
See their story and more at the Camry Effect. Camry from Toyota.
I'm launching a hotspot. You ready?
Share everything by turning your smartphone into a mobile hotspot for up to 8 Wi-Fi enabled devices at no extra charge, like the new Droid Razr M by Motorola, only $99.99.
The 60 Seconds of Mayhem sweepstakes is back. You could win a trip to the Allstate Sugar Bowl, where you'll kick for a chance to meet Kurt Herbstreit and win a ski boat, motorcycle, truck, and RV. January 2nd is gonna be mayhem. Will you be there? Enter at allstatecfb.com.
Back here in San Antonio. Western Athletic Conference action in San Jose State in control, up 38-7 midway through this second quarter. And the Spartans starting at their own 35 here. David Fales, wide open catch by Grigsby, and he's into UTSA territory down to the 40-yard line. Noel Grigsby, the junior out of Crenshaw High School in LA, now 28 straight games with a reception after he caught the opening touchdown, his 5th TD catch of the year. He's already San Jose State's all-time leader in catches and yards. He's only a junior. Frantic changing of the play by San Jose State with the ball at the UTSA 41. And it's a series of fakes. They throw it to Fales, and he's hit hard by Tristan Wade and knocked out of bounds. Flags fly, though. I don't know if this is going to count.
And that was a great play. They pull a trick out of their hat. Fales walks towards the sideline like he doesn't know what's going on. He's actually in motion. I wonder if it had too many moving.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, a play with intent to deceive by the offense, and it was a personal foul, roughing the passer, number 43 defense. Those penalties offset. First down.
I've never seen intent to deceive called before. I mean, here's a look at it. It's well done. As you saw the late hit there.
But isn't that the objective, to deceive the defense if you're an offense?
I don't think Mike McIntyre's very happy with that. The play worked. They got a roughing the passer called as well against Desmond Stewart, who took the pitch and threw the pass. Meanwhile, UTSA got a free shot at San Jose State starting quarterback. Tristan Wade is a heavy hitter, and he let him have it. As usual, though, David Fales bounced right back, and we'll just go back to 1st and 10 because the 2 penalties offset. Officials, though, are still discussing things. Now we're ready to go. It's one of the better trick plays we've seen. That's for sure. Quick toss outside to Chandler Jones. Has some blockers in front of him and takes a big hit. Lost the football. Frankie Anaya picks it up for UTSA. The first turnover created by the Roadrunners.
And what you saw is pursuit, and that's why you pursued football, because the play is never over. They make a big hit. They get the ball back. Now offensively, can they make a play? Cody Rogers, I thought he could have gotten upfield once he picked the ball up.
Well, Cody Rogers had the hit. Coming over, he and Wade both hit it. Jones at the same time, and Anaya, the big man, picked it up and kind of went out of bounds before starting down the sideline, but turns the ball over as you look at Frankie Anaya from California, and it gives UTSA the ball at its own 41. Polite looking for help, throwing downfield. Cam Jones, catch made. First down inside San Jose State territory. UTSA is starting to feel it.
And Polite is feeling more and more comfortable in this offense. They're allowing him to get outside of the pocket, and because of the threat of him running, the defense has to react to him, which allows the receivers to find open space, and he's throwing some pretty good footballs.
Cam Jones, one of their best playmakers. Still only 1 touchdown on the year. Found some space there to help out his quarterback. Sophomore out of Edna, where he was a quarterback. Recruited here as a quarterback, actually. As Polite finds Marcellus Mack with a slant. And now he's starting to get a lot more comfortable with his throws. Even though he's put some air under some of them, he hit that one right on the money.
What's interesting is the San Jose State defense is playing off of these receivers. I would think that they will be pressing them a little bit more because of the lead and the comfort and knowing that they can give up a play every now and then. But because of some of these plays down the field, they're starting to feel a little bit uncomfortable.
And timeout called by UTSA to correct whatever they saw on that play. We'll take it with them. San Jose State 38, UTSA 7. Roadrunners on the move, trying to get back in this thing, so don't go away. We'll see what they can do when we come back.
The first look is only the beginning. Introducing a stunning work of technology. Introducing the entirely new Lexus ES and the first ever ES Hybrid. This is the pursuit of perfection.
This is the car that loves to have fun, mile after mile, to and from. Now there are 4 for all to use, so the neighbors, friends, everyone, the news, and let's hum, 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 let's hum. A Prius for everyone. Now there's a bigger one if you want more space, a small one if the city's your place, and even one you can plug in, so hop on in and give one a spin, and let's hum, 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 let's hum. A Prius for everyone.
My friend told me about a great new way to get deals.
It's called Banker Mayor Deals from Bank of America.
I choose the cashback deals in my mobile or online banking.
I just use my Bank of America debit or credit card when I pay.
And I get as much as 15% cash back, but in my account.
This is cash back on top of other rewards we already get.
And best of all, it's free.
Friends help friends get deals.
Pass it on.
Introducing Bank Deals, free for online banking customers. Sign into your online banking to choose your deals today.
Who doesn't like a good deal?
At Transamerica, we're making tomorrows people can count on.
Your husband put this all together when Emma was born. He was an amazing man. This is for you. It's all paid off.
Transamerica. Transform tomorrow.
Back here at the Alamo Dome, UTSA trailing by a lot, 31 down here in the second quarter, but on the move, second down, and 5 to go in San Jose State territory. Polite throws outside. Aaron Holmes with
very confident that they can move the football. They have not had any negative yardage on any plays the last couple of plays that they've had the football.
First and 10 at the 25. Lateral to Josiah Monroe, a high school quarterback. He's going to tuck it and run, and spins inside down to the 20. Made the most of the play because his receiver, Cole Hicks, was covered.
And that was a great decision. He could have thrown the ball up for grabs, but right now, when you're having positive plays, you pull that down, you get positive yardage. I just talked about that, and you see he was able to cut back inside, get inside some of his blockers, and get about 5 yards out of that play.
They've got a couple of former high school quarterbacks, we told you, on the roster, and they tried to use one of them there. 2nd and 5. Speed pitch to Cam Jones, running a bit of an option over there, and James Orth grabs hold and doesn't let go, throws him down for just a 1-yard gain. Orth, the senior out of Modesto, with a big hit there.
And I like the fact that he did not pitch the football. That is not a play he's used to running. It's a dangerous play right now. You've got positive yardage going on. You continue to do what you do best, which is get to the outside. He couldn't get there quite on that play, but I think him holding on to the football was the best case scenario on that particular play.
3rd and 4. Receivers bunched tight to the line of scrimmage. Polite has Glasgow out of the backfield if he can check it to him, and he's taken down in the backfield before he can get it out of there. Johnson, I think, got a hand to it. And we'll see if he gets a full sack or half sack, but that's big for his statistical numbers, and he'll keep his streak of tackles for loss going, now up to 13 games.
Well, that was a motor play. He just kept going. He was down on his stomach, and he reached out and he grabbed Polite's foot, just doing whatever he could to disrupt the quarterback, and he was able to trip him up and get him down. And that's why he's such a special player, and that's why we talked about in the open him leading the Western Athletic Conference in tackles for loss.
UTSA lining up a 41-yarder for Christian Stern, who's 2 of 3 on the year. Kick is up and good. Career long for Christian Stern, 41 yards, knocks it through. And you can see what it means to him as UTSA puts some more points on the board. A 4-touchdown game at this point with San Jose State in control at 38-10. But again, still some positive momentum coming from that UTSA offense. And some push-ups coming as well in the end zone as they celebrate this one.
But right now, defensively, UTSA has to be thinking about the 3 and out. getting the ball back to their offense, allowing their offense to get into the 2-minute offense and try and get another score going into the half. That will bode well as far as motivation. And like I said, Jonathan, this is continuing to build character with this young ball club. I like the way that they've responded. They've not held their heads down. And Coach Coker's done a good job with keeping them upbeat about what's going on right now.
It's going to be tough to keep them upbeat because they've got Murderers Row coming. Look at this schedule. San Jose State today, Utah State next week, at Louisiana Tech. Those are the top 3 teams in the WAC. They finish with 3 much more manageable games. McNeese State from the FCS at Idaho, and then their big rival Texas State November 24th. We expect this place to be packed for that one. Parker Cundiff to kick off again for UTSA. End over end's going to bounce loose at the 19. Picked up there, and this time UTSA able to cover it and hold San Jose State to the 31-yard line. But you can see that field position is hurt by the injury to their primary kicker, Sean Iano.
But the thing to do now, Jonathan, is you've got to get a 3 and out. That's what you focus on. You focus on keeping the ball in front of you, keeping the offensive players in front of you. Don't try and get it all on one play. You just want to play steady defense right now. Try and get the ball back to your offense. Give them enough time to try and get the ball back down the field and get a score going into the half.
David Fales, 6 of 9 today for 153 yards, 2 touchdowns in the shotgun. Give to Eskridge. Gets across the 30, but met by a wall of Roadrunners there. And it'll be a short gain on the play. Rashad Mabry at the bottom of that pile for UTSA, among others. Second and 8 for San Jose State. 3:20 to go in this second quarter. Fails. Quick drop, looking for Otten. It's a little bit behind him with Cody Berry on the coverage for UTSA, and falls incomplete.
And what's interesting is this no-huddle offense by San Jose State is actually helping UTSA because they're not getting a lot of time off the clock. And now with an incomplete pass, the clock has stopped. So if they're able to get a stop on 3rd down, they give Polite in this offense a lot of time to try and get the ball back down the field for another score.
Otten, the tight end, is wide at the top of the screen. 4 wide receivers then for Fales. 3rd and 8. They bring the blitz. He gets it away to Chandler Jones. He's short of the first down right now, but he gets by Wade, has the first down, and into UTSA territory. A big play by Chandler Jones, the junior from Torrance, California.
And I don't know if you blitz on that play. I think because of, him being an older quarterback, a quarterback that has played well, he knows how to get the ball out to the hot read. I think you sit back in a zone defense and you allow your defense to make a play on the ball. Keep everything in front of you.
Big conversion for San Jose State. Fails, feeling it. Finds Chandler Jones, and he's pulled down by Cody Berry. Right at the first down marker, and they're going to stop the clock to move the chains there. Look at Jones. 5 touchdown catches of his own on the year, now tied for the team lead. Fails, quick throw to Jabari Carr, and he's run out of bounds by Charles Wart and Darian Starling over there.
And that plays open all evening for this San Jose State offense because the defensive backs are playing so far off of these receivers, and that's due to some of the big plays that we saw early in this ball game. I think as a defensive back right now, you've got to get up and press these guys and make them make plays, because right now it's pitch and catch for this offense.
Well, Kenwick Haynes in on the defensive line for UTSA. He's at that right defensive end spot as San Jose State spreads the field. Fales steps up over the middle. Grigsby again. Touchdown, San Jose State. Flag behind the play. And we'll see what the call is.
Holding. Number 54. Offense. 10-yard penalty. Second down.
You can hear the crowd reaction. Bit of a late call, but a hold called to negate the touchdown. And I think a little wipe of the brow for Larry Coker.
Well, Fales had all day back there to pick and choose who he wanted to throw the football to, and now we see why. They were holding on that play. It takes the ball back. Now defensively, you've got to tighten up. You've got to make some plays. You want to prevent them from scoring.
Get a look at it. Looks like Hassani might have been the one called for the hold. UTSA bringing pressure again. Fales lets it go, and it's out of bounds, intended for Carr. And a little frustration creeping in there for the San Jose State receivers. It's now going to be 3rd and 16.
And once again, as a defensive player, you've got to keep the receivers in front of you. You want to keep them in front of the first down marker. You also want to be able to get pressure on the quarterback. And I think that's why they're bringing some of these linebackers on these blitzes. But you cannot leave the middle of the field open, because that is where they've been exploited throughout the first half of this ball game.
Richard Burge, one of the defensive linemen, trying to signal the crowd to get into this one. 3rd and 16. They're bringing the blitz again. Johnston is flying in there. They dump it off to Eskridge. And he's hit for a big loss on the play, and the UTSA defense holds.
And that was a great play by the defensive player. He ran to the sideline, made him cut back inside where the pursuit was coming from to not allow him to get up the field. This is what you have to do on screen plays. You cannot give the back the edge. Watch the defensive player run out with him. I'm not going to let you get to the outside. You cut back, and that's where the pursuit comes from, and you get him down.
San Jose State going to punt for the first time today. Harrison Wade, the Spartans' all-time punting leader, averaging better than 43 yards a kick, with a low rugby-style kick that will prevent a return and bounce inside the 5, where UTSA will take over with 41 seconds remaining in the first half. San Jose State with 3 timeouts. They may try and force UTSA to do something here.
And with what we've seen from UTSA's punter, I've seen them get very close to blocking some of those kicks. So if you're UTSA, you can't be cautious right here. You need to try and get a first down and get out of this first half without giving the ball back to this dangerous San Jose State offense.
Roadrunners will start from their 3 here. Quick toss to Marcellus Mack in space, trying to get by the first man, does so, and gets out of bounds with some positive yardage. 35 seconds left. I don't know if UTSA thinks it can score here, but they've got to at least move the chains and avoid giving it back to San Jose State.
Definitely have to move the chains, and that's a good thing they're not right up on the goal line right now. But I think you do have to be careful continuously on this play. You don't want to throw the ball and get a turnover, but you do want to get positive yards and not allow San Jose State to use those 3 timeouts you talked about earlier.
2nd down and 4. Polite lost the handle on the ball as he went to throw it and just dives forward across the 10 to the 11. So we'll pick up 2 yards on the play. Just lost the handle on it.
And San Jose State is not calling a timeout. I think they're, feeling comfortable going in at the half, up 38-10 right now. You look at this ball game, you see some positives from the UTSA offense. I think they need to go into the locker room and capitalize on what they've done positively and try and come out in the second half and make this a ball game.
So the clock will expire on the first half. It was San Jose State early and often jumping out to that 28-0 lead. Since then, UTSA has kept it level to trail by those 28 points at the half. San Jose State 38, UTSA 10. Stay tuned for the halftime report and second half action coming up.
These fellas used Capital One Venture miles for a golf getaway. Double miles you can actually use. But Mr. Single Miles can't join his friends because he's getting hit with blackouts. Shame on you. Now he's stuck in a miniature nightmare. Oh, thank you. But with the Capital One Venture Card, you can fly any airline, any flight, anytime. Double miles you can actually use. What's in your wallet? Alec Jr.? It was a gift.
This is the Capital One Halftime Report.
Welcome into the ESPN3 Halftime Report presented by Capital One. I'm Cassidy Hubbard. Coming up, we'll join the ESPN Goal Line Network in progress to keep you up to date with all the action going on today. Goal Line features unlimited live cut-ins, highlights, and analysis from the biggest matchups throughout the day. But first, let's take a look at this week's Capital One Cup impact performance from Thursday night. And Kenyon Barner rushed for 143 yards and 3 touchdowns on 16 carries as Oregon beat Arizona State 43-21 to improve to 7-0 on the season. It was Barner's 3rd game with 3 or more rushing TDs this season, tied for the most in the FBS, and his 3rd straight game with at least 100 rushing yards. All right, as promised, let's get you updated with that.
He's been able to rattle off 24 unanswered points, considering statistically their offense is not very good. This is a big win for LSU on the road.
Johnny Manziel, usually statistically very good, but right here his team trailing by 12 points. Let's listen up.
The throw that he missed to Wachiku on the last drive for the touchdown. This is the same back shoulder throw. This time he gets it up in the air and allows Wachiku to adjust. They just could have really used that conversion on the last drive.
Here's Molina, gets away from Minko and is in. And we're not done yet in College Station. Still got the onside kick coming. 1:17 to go.
Great effort by Molina. Mingo gets him at about the 3.5-yard line. And then Molina keeps his body parallel and stretches that ball out. Great effort.
Got the ball across before any part of his body hit the ground. Touchdown. 4th rushing touchdown for Molina. And the point after makes it 24-19. You would assume an onside kick is coming. Plus A&M has 2 timeouts remaining. This week on ABC Saturday Night Football, many will see rivals clash as Florida State meets Miami. Others will see Baylor and 25th ranked Texas. Saturday Night Football presented by Windows 8. 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific.
Time for a first look at this one. The South Florida Bulls with an early 3-0 lead on the 15th ranked Louisville Cardinals. 7:53 to go in the first. Here we go.
That hurt in the Florida State contest. An important member of their linebacking crew.
Bulls doing a nice job early on here and shutting down the Louisville running game.
2nd down and 9. They move the tight ends Nord and Hubble to the left side of the formation. Play fake. Bridgewater still has it. Throws it out to Perry at midfield. Brought down about a yard and a half.
LSU and Texas A&M right now. The Aggies just scoring, finding the end zone, and now they're going to attempt the onside kick. 1 minute, 17 seconds to go in College Station, Texas. It's a 24-19 ball game. Let's listen in. This game on ESPN. Here's Dave Pasch and Brian Greasy with the call.
Les Miles going to call a timeout. You know, there is that option of trying to kick it straight ahead.
Yep.
And then have the kicker go get it, and you get a block. We saw Arizona State do that successfully late in the game against Oregon. It didn't matter at that point when they did it. Reese Davis was there for that. Right now he's in the studio.
South Carolina and Florida underway. 7-0, the 2nd-ranked squad in the land. They have the early lead. Will Muschamp he should be the front runner for Coach of the Year, John Berger. That's what you told me during the break.
Well, considering they were 7-6 last year, absolutely. I think he's done a phenomenal job. South Carolina turned the football over on the first play. Florida capitalizes on that turnover. And how about Notre Dame, BYU? I think Notre Dame, you got to be careful. This BYU squad, one of the top defenses in the country. And Texas Tech, TCU, you can expect an offensive shootout with Seth Agee at the quarterback position.
That is a battle of the Lone Star State. The Horned Frogs looking to stand strong in Fort Worth, currently 7-0 with 9.5 to go in the first quarter. In the meantime, we're going back to College Station. Texas A&M looking to onside kick against LSU, trailing 24-19 with 1:17 to go in the fourth. This one on ESPN. Here's Dave Pasch and Brian Greasy. They'll take you through the last minute and change.
Strength of their formation to the other side of the field, and LSU has to adjust again.
And here it comes. And that was easy. Beckham recovers it at the 49-yard line. But as you said, much harder now to convert those onside kicks. And LSU will take over in A&M territory. Still, Aggies have 2 timeouts. Number 1 team in the land tonight on ESPN. Top-ranked Alabama. And the latest chapter of the third set.
We hope you enjoy the fast action coverage from the Goal Line Network. We will continue to provide this service every Saturday throughout the college football season. That'll do it for the ESPN3 Halftime Report presented by Capital One. I'm Cassidy Hubbard. Enjoy the second half.
Whether I'm right or whether I'm wrong, gotta be me.
For years, Dr. Pepper has been changing lives, giving away tuition money to students across the country.
My name is Carly Rodick. I am 20 years old. I go to George Mason University and I am studying nursing here. And I wasn't able to take out a private loan to pay for it, so it was kind of like up in the air whether I would even be able to come back to school. Dr. Pepper gave me such a big opportunity to be able to go back to school with this scholarship.
He's 4'10", not a great...
Power was very important to me. We test drove the Camry, took it on the freeway, and it was just like, this was the car for me.
It had stuff that guys liked, like the rims and the sleekness to the body, and then had the Bluetooth and the navigation that Diane really wanted.
And it was an SE, so it felt really grounded to the ground.
Grounded to the ground?
Yes, grounded to the ground.
See their story and more at the Camry Effect. Camry from Toyota.
The first look is only the beginning. Introducing a stunning work of technology. Introducing the entirely new Lexus ES and the first ever ES Hybrid. This is the pursuit of perfection.
Cool. I won again. Monopoly at McDonald's is awesome. 1 in 4 winners. Hard to beat those odds.
I can. I'm moving to San Diego.
Why?
It's the luckiest city in America. It's got the most sweepstakes winners and the fewest lightning strikes.
Doesn't matter where you are. It's still 1 in 4.
Just the same, I think I prefer San Diego.
It's the 20th edition of Monopoly at McDonald's, and 1 in 4 wins. With over $300 million in cash and great prizes, it's the most prizes ever. The simple joy of winning.
I'm your lucky team flag. I'm just holding on by a thread. If you've got cut rate insurance, you could be dealing with this mess yourself. So get Allstate.
Mayhem is everywhere. Are you in good hands?
BYU has it back. Just to remind everybody, Riley Nelson's back in as the quarterback after a starter that he replaced has a knee injury in Hill. So what is it about Riley Nelson? Like, can you tell us?
Back here at the Alamo Dome as we get set for the start of the second half. San Jose State all over UTSA 38-10. Jonathan Yardley and Forrest Connolly with you. And we take a look back at some of the big plays from this first half. And San Jose State got it going early. David Fales looking up top for Noel Grigsby with a 36-yard touchdown early on. And San Jose State was off and running from there. This is Blake Jurich, the running quarterback, taking it in from 10 yards out. UTSA got back in the game. Ryan Polite, a little screen pass, and Evans Okacha did the rest, wearing number 21 to honor a former high school teammate, scores the touchdown to keep UTSA on the board. San Jose State, though, able to come back and restore a 38-10 halftime lead, as you saw Tyler Irvin with that touchdown reception. Halftime numbers, we should note the rushing yards for UTSA looks awfully lopsided. They got minus 48 on that bad snap on the fumbled punt. Otherwise, UTSA there in total yards. San Jose State, obviously, passing yardage is big, and UTSA's time of possession is big. Forrest, what jumps out to you?
What jumps out to me is the passing yards. You've got a young quarterback in UTSA with Polite, but he's been able to hold his own with the Fales, you know, the more efficient, more established quarterback. I think rushing, they've got to continue to hit those edges. And when you look at Polite and what he's been able to do with finding some holes in that defense, I think if you're UTSA, you have to continue to capitalize on that. Coming out in the second half, can the defense stop San Jose State? That is the big question.
After those first couple of drives, you're absolutely right. Polite and his arsenal of receivers and running backs was able to do some dangerous things. So we'll see what happens in the second half if San Jose State can continue to dominate. They got those 3 turnovers that helped them jump out to that lead, or if UTSA can make it a game. Christian Stern is going to kick off instead of Parker Cundiff as they try and win some of the field position battle. Irvin takes it at the 5-yard line for San Jose State. Took one to the house earlier and is stopped short of the 30-yard line here. So San Jose State, which only had the ball for 11 minutes because of all those turnovers, will try and get back in a rhythm here. It seemed like they lost that rhythm in the second quarter.
Well, will it be a tale of two halves? If you look at this UTSA team, what they want to do is come out and establish themselves as a defense that can stop this San Jose State offense. Offensively, San Jose State has gotten a lot of big plays. I haven't seen them consistently go down the field. They've just gotten big plays. Can UTSA stop the big play?
Spartans start at their own 29. Fails play action. Wide open is Grigsby. Catch made at the 45. He made Wade miss again and then locked the ball up because Nick Johnston came in trying to knock it loose. That's the second time we've seen a San Jose State receiver shake Tristan Wade.
And Tristan Wade has to do a better job of getting to the football after the receiver makes a play. He stops his feet. You need to break down and be able to make a play as opposed to letting them get up the field and get additional yards.
Grigsby's 3rd catch of the day, including a score earlier. It's 1st and 10 for San Jose State at the UTSA 47. De Leon Eskridge, his first carry of the second half, stopped right at the 45-yard line for a 2-yard pickup.
And this is something the San Jose State coaches talked to us about during the conference call. They wanted to establish the running game because they felt like they relied too heavily on the passing game last week, which allowed them to give up those 13 sacks. So I expect to see them run the ball a little bit more often, especially with a big lead.
Peter Tuitupo in at tight end on the near side of the screen. Pitch to Eskridge, who's got some room on the right-hand side. Johnston trying to strip it again, and Eskridge able to hold on to the ball as Wade brings him down after a big gain. And it's a first down for San Jose State.
And one thing about having a big lead, it allows you to do some things on offense and work on some things on offense. And I think that's what we're seeing right now. They're allowing themselves to run the football, get some good fits for their offensive line, and restore some of that confidence that they lost last week.
Carr goes in motion to pitch to Tyler Irvin. Wrapped up by Blake Terry, the linebacker, after a gain of about 4. San Jose State definitely keeping it on the ground here, wanting to control the clock a little bit more. And it'll be a gain of 3 in the end at the 30-yard line, 2nd and 7. Fails in the pistol here. It's Irvin up the middle and knocked down by Kerfis. And Jerron Harris had his arms around the legs of Tyler Irvin. It's going to bring up a 3rd down. UTSA will have a chance to get that stop you were talking about.
And this is a big 3rd down play for this defense. Coming out in the second half, I know that's something they focused on at halftime. Let's come out, let's get a stop. Even if they can hold them to a field goal, that is positive coming out in the second half.
Frankie Anaya, Farrington Macon in the middle of that defensive line for UTSA right there on 3rd and 3. Option to the left, and Jurich steps up. He lost the football. Who's got it? We're waiting for the pile to reveal who has it. UTSA is awfully confident right now, but no signal yet. It's Roadrunner football.
And that's the big play that they needed to make on defense, and they made it because of the pursuit. They never gave up on the play, and that is why you talk to defensive players about pursuing the ball even when it's past you.
We get a look at the play. Jurich had it knocked loose by Blake Terry, and I think Cody Berry, the safety, was the one who fell on it.
And sometimes that's the problem, bringing in another quarterback to run the option play.
So UTSA at its own 20, trying to get back in this game. Polite keeps it himself, dives ahead up the middle, gain of about 3 on the play. Brandon Armstrong was with him in the backfield. UTSA will rotate 5 or 6 guys on every play. They go 9 deep at wide receiver. And they'll use 3 or 4 running backs at a time.
Well, they call it a timeshare system, and you like the unselfishness of their specialty players.
This is Glasgow in the backfield, motioning out to the left. Polite looking to the right the whole way, lobs it up for Bias, makes the catch out of bounds in San Jose State territory. Fingertip grab.
And that was a great pump fake by Polite. You saw him pump fake on the short route. The defensive back got caught looking into the backfield, and he's able to lay it up over the top.
Bias out of Stevens High School here in San Antonio.
And you see the pump fake right there, and he lays it out over the top for only the receiver can make a play on the football.
This crowd starting to get into it. UTSA 1st and 10 at the San Jose State 40. Armstrong motions out. Polite under pressure, steps up, wants to run, gets outside, and runs short of the 1st down, but gets out of bounds, and we do have a flag on the play behind the ball.
Well, you saw that dual threat ability right there. He made a play out of nothing. That is what's dangerous when you have a quarterback in the ball game that can run the ball as well as throw it.
You could almost see his eyes lighting up when he saw that expansive turf in front of him. But we're going to check on the flag.
It looks to be against UTSA.
Illegal block in the back, number 85 offense. 10-yard penalty, 1st down. The helmet of number 97 defense came off. He may not participate in the next down.
Jeremiah Miller, the tight end, called for the penalty that's going to knock them back. It'll be a spot foul. So it's spotted at the 41, 1st and 11. That was a downfield block as Polite was scrambling. Polite with the option. Pitch to Okacha. He has it, gets a block, and gets out to the 30-yard line. Nate Shaw with the block. He was an offensive guard in high school. Now he's a blocking back.
And that was a great decision by Polite. He stretched the defense as far as he could. He made them react to him. And the play prior to that is what made that play possible. Because of Polite's ability to get into the open field and make plays with his feet, the defense has to react to him, which allows him now to pitch the ball to his back and allows him to get north and south and get positive yards.
They ended up getting a first down with the spot. Cole Hubble in motion. Short drop by Polite, feeds Miller, the tight end. Has the catch and drags a couple defenders out to the 21. Ryan Polite is starting to feel it.
Well, he's getting comfortable in this offense, and they're giving him plays that he can be successful with. As an offensive coordinator, sometimes you have to run through a bevy of plays to see where your quarterback, when you have a new guy in there, is most comfortable. And I think they found this comfort zone. And you see Polite, being very comfortable back there, and that does not bode well for this San Jose State defense.
Only the second catch of the year for Jeremiah Miller. Second and short. Option again. Polite going to keep it himself, and David Tuitupo made him regret it. Took him down behind the line of scrimmage. Going to be a loss on the play. Looked like San Jose State had all the options covered there. Even a pitch, I don't know if it would have been successful or not.
Well, I think with the success that they've had stretching to the outside, you run a dive play on that play. You give the ball to Nate Shaw. He's been a hard worker. Let him get that first down for you.
Well, they've got third and a long one now with Okacha in the backfield. He gets it in short yardage, gets a block, and gets down to the 10-yard line. Kenny Harrison, the outside receiver, threw a key block to spring Okacha.
And if you watch Okacha on this play, he's not happy because he wanted to get to the end zone. I like the energy that UTSA is coming out with on offense. We look at this play. They're able to get out to the edge. Great crackback block. But look at Okacha. He's continuing to move those feet. He wants to get to the end zone. I love this energy right now from UTSA.
Armstrong and Nate Shaw in the backfield behind Polite. Jeremiah Miller, the tight end to the right. Option to the left, has to unload early, gets it to Armstrong. He spies the end zone, can't get there, but gets down inside the 5. UTSA on a roll right now, and they try to speed things up and go quickly. Armstrong taken down by Ben Wickery. Big play off the weak side by Ben Wickery. And it'll bring up third and goal. They were trying to catch San Jose State unawares there, but it really didn't work out in the end.
Well, I think if you're going to run a hurry-up play, you run a pass play as opposed to trying to run, a running play, because the offensive linemen aren't able to get good fits when the defense isn't set.
Watch for Aaron Holmes at the top of the screen for UTSA, matched up with Jimmy Pruitt. Polite goes the other side. Kenny Harrison dives for the pylon. Touchdown, UTSA!
Great play by Harrison to keep his feet, be aware of where the pylon was, and reach out and get the ball across the end zone. That is what you need to do. Big plays will get you back into the ball game. If you watch the play, Polite gets the ball to him. He sees where the pylon is and reaches out and gets the ball across the end zone end line to get the touchdown.
Christian Stern on to add the extra point. Second touchdown of the year for Kenny Harrison. The extra point is good, and it is a 3-touchdown game. UTSA trying to get back into it. San Jose State 38, UTSA 17. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Power was very important to me. We test drove the Camry, took it on the freeway, and it was just like, this was the car for me.
It had stuff that guys liked, like the rims and the sleekness to the body, and then had the Bluetooth and the navigation that Diane really wanted.
and it was an SE, so it felt really grounded to the ground.
Grounded to the ground?
Yes, grounded to the ground.
See their story and more at the Camry Effect. Camry from Toyota.
Introducing a reason to look twice. Introducing a stunning work of technology. The entirely new Lexus ES and the first ever ES Hybrid. This is the pursuit of perfection.
Cool. I won again. Monopoly at McDonald's is awesome. 1 in 4 winners. Hard to beat those odds.
I can. I'm moving to San Diego.
Why?
It's the luckiest city in America. It's got the most sweepstakes winners and the fewest lightning strikes.
Doesn't matter where you are. Still 1 in 4.
Just the same, I think I prefer San Diego.
It's the 20th edition of Monopoly at McDonald's, and 1 in 4 wins. With over $300 million in cash and great prizes, it's the most prizes ever. The simple joy of winning.
The Johnsons, right?
Yeah.
Which house is yours?
The one with the Silverado out front.
What do you do?
Well,
And Bingo was his name.
From worksite to home front, Chevy runs deep.
Back here at the Alamo Dome, we may have a ball game brewing. San Jose State was up 38-10 and 28-0 before that. UTSA has closed to within 3 scores as they prepare to kick off. They've gone back to Parker Cundiff after Christian Stern kicked off to open the second half. Tyler Irvin already has a return touchdown today. They kick it away from him. Fair catch signaled and called. And caught by Peter Tuitupo. We'll take a break, come back with San Jose State trying to respond. Spartans still up 38-17.
This is the car that loves to have fun, mile after mile, to and from. Now there are 4 for all to use, so the neighbors, friends, everyone, the news, and let's hum, 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 let's hum. A Prius for everyone. But there's a bigger one if you want more space. A small one if the city's your place. And even one you can plug in. So hop on in and give one a spin. And let's hum, 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 let's hum. A Prius for everyone.
Introducing a reason to look twice. Introducing a stunning work of technology. The entirely new Lexus ES and the first ever ES Hybrid. This is the pursuit of perfection.
Cool. I won again. Monopoly at McDonald's is awesome. 1 in 4 winners. Hard to beat those odds.
I can. I'm moving to San Diego.
Why?
It's the luckiest city in America. It's got the most sweepstakes winners and the fewest lightning strikes.
Doesn't matter where you are. Still 1 in 4.
Just the same, I think I prefer San Diego.
It's the 20th edition of Monopoly at McDonald's, and 1 in 4 wins. With over $300 million in cash and great prizes, it's the most prizes ever. The simple joy of winning.
The Johnsons, right?
yeah.
Which house is yours?
The one with the Silverado out front.
What do you do?
Well,
And Bingo was his name.
From worksite to home front, Chevy runs deep.
Back here at the Alamo Dome, San Jose State in front 38-17, but feeling a little bit of pressure as they take over at their own 22. David Freeman is at tailback. Play action. Downfield looking for Irvin, incomplete. Good coverage on the play by Nick Johnston. Their dog linebacker cornerback hybrid to stay with the running back.
Well, Nick Johnston is fast enough to cover in space, but he also can come up and stop the run, and you saw it right there. He was able to get his head around and make a play on the football at the last moment, at the height of the play, and you've got to love that right now. Defensively, they are stepping up and playing some big-time football.
San Jose State's first 5 drives, 4 touchdowns and a field goal. The last 3, 2 fumbles and a punt. Big pressure. They get it away to Eskridge, and he's taken down by Ashad Mabry and company. And the Roadrunners are starting to get some momentum.
Well, they're starting to feel it. They're getting pressure up the field. They're not allowing San Jose State to do what they were doing in the first half. And the crowd is getting into this ball game.
That's the first play for minus yards in the game by San Jose State. Ashad Mabry out of MacArthur High School in San Antonio was the first one there, and it brings up a 3rd and 12. Fales dumps it down to Chandler Jones. He spins near the first down marker. He's short of it. Stopped at the 31, 1 yard short.
And that was a great play by UTSA's defense. They held on to him. They did not allow him to get that additional yard, which now is going to force the San Jose State team to punt the football, and it's giving it back to this offense that is very confident.
Once again, the crowd trying to get into this. Only the 2nd punt for Harrison Wade. Kenny Harrison, who leads the WAC in punt return yards, is deep for UTSA. Good punt sends Harrison back to the 20-yard line. Trying to make something happen, and he couldn't in the end. Right back to the 19, which is where UTSA will start. A little bit more pushing and shoving after the play, but in the end, no flags.
Well, I think the kicker got a little bit upset because he got hit in the mouth a little bit, but that's a part of football, young man. You got to keep your head on the swivel.
So UTSA, which has been hot on its recent possessions, has a confident quarterback in Ryan Polite, who is 12 of 18 on the day for 217 yards. He's going to try and give this crowd something more to cheer about.
And if you're UTSA, you keep coming at this defense. Do not get comfortable. Don't get cautious. Play the way that you played going into the halftime and how you played coming out in the second half.
They've scored on 3 of their last 4 drives. The only one they didn't was where they had to go for it on 4th down. Polite under pressure and just throws it out of bounds in the direction of Hicks. It'll be 2nd and 10.
And you saw Travis Johnson getting pressure on that play. That is someone right now, if you're UTSA's offensive line and you're the tight ends, you need to chip on him. Do not let him get started. We know what he's capable of as far as making tackles for loss and sacking the quarterback.
There you look at Eric Sosa, the junior quarterback for UTSA, unable to go today with a hip injury. Ryan Polite, the redshirt freshman out of DeSoto High School, has come on strong lately. It's a reverse to Cam Jones. He's got some field in front of him. Lost the football. San Jose State may have gotten it. San Jose State recovers a fumble. It's the 4th turnover by UTSA, and it could be a backbreaker.
And you've got to protect the football, especially when you're running trick plays, because the pursuit is coming from everywhere. It's unfortunate the offense was moving the ball well. I think you continue to go down the field as opposed to running a trick play. I think they got a little bit away from Jonathan what they were doing to be successful.
So San Jose State, picking up its 4th turnover of the day, will start at the UTSA 28. That turnover margin, one of the real reasons behind UTSA's success. They averaged plus 2.33 a game, best in the country. They're -2 today. Irvin the carry to the right-hand side. Snowed under there by Blake Terry and others. Stephen Kerfis there as well. See what the Spartans can muster here. They're already in field goal range, leading by 3 scores late in the third quarter.
And as UTSA's defensive line is holding their own, they're about 30 pounds lighter and 3 inches shorter on average, but they're holding their own against San Jose State's offensive line.
Play action for Fales. Over the middle for Grigsby. He's down at the 1-yard line. Noel Grigsby having a big day. His 4th catch, and he's over 100 yards with that one.
Too much time. You're allowing Fales to sit back and go through his progressions, and he's picking and choosing who he wants to get the football to. You cannot allow a quarterback as efficient as Fales to sit back and look around the field and see where he wants to go with the football. You've got to get pressure on him.
Powerful package in for San Jose State with the ball at the 1-yard line. It's Eskridge, low and in the end zone for the touchdown. San Jose State silences this crowd and may have put it out of reach with that score. DeLeon Eskridge taking it in from 1 yard out.
And the free safety, Brian King, has got to make that play. He's in the backfield. It's mano-a-mano. You've got to make that tackle because you're the last line of defense, and he did not do it, which allowed Eskridge to walk into the end zone.
So 44-17. As Austin Lopez will try to once again add the extra point. Does so with ease. And San Jose State back in control. Spartans 45. UTSA's Roadrunners 17. See if UTSA has any life in them when we come back.
Power was very important to me. We test drove the Camry, took it on the freeway, and it was just like, this was the car for me.
It had stuff that guys liked, like the rims and the sleekness to the body, and then had the Bluetooth and the navigation that Diane really wanted.
And it was an SE, so it felt really grounded to the ground.
Grounded to the ground?
Yes, grounded to the ground.
See their story and more at the Camry Effect. Camry from Toyota.
Introducing a reason to look twice. Introducing a stunning work of technology. The entirely new Lexus ES and the first ever ES Hybrid. This is the pursuit of perfection.
Cool. I won again. Monopoly at McDonald's is awesome. 1 in 4 winners. Hard to beat those odds.
I can. I'm moving to San Diego.
Why?
It's the luckiest city in America. It's got the most sweepstakes winners and the fewest lightning strikes.
Doesn't matter where you are. Still 1 in 4.
Just the same, I think I prefer San Diego.
It's the 20th edition of Monopoly at McDonald's, and 1 in 4 wins. With over $300 million in cash and great prizes, it's the most prizes ever. The simple joy of winning.
I'm your lucky team flag. I'm just holding on by a thread. If you've got cut rate insurance, you could be dealing with this mess yourself. So get Allstate.
Mayhem is everywhere. Are you in good hands?
Here in San Antonio, San Jose State up 45-17. Here's how they got the ball back. Cam Jones on the reverse, knocked out.
And you got to protect the football. You see the hit coming. There was not pursuit that got that ball out. It was just poor handling of the football. You've got to do a better job. Your team had the momentum, and you allowed them to lose it on a play like that. That has to hurt this ball club, Jonathan.
It looked like Benet Ben-Wickery knocked the ball loose. He's only starting because Darren Ogburn Jr. out with a hamstring injury.
But we've called his name a lot this afternoon. He's made a lot of big plays.
And he sees regular playing time even when he doesn't start at corner. Kenny Harrison going to bring this one out. And they may have gotten away with the block in the back. No, they didn't. There's the flag. And it's going to knock him even farther back. Probably not the best decision to bring it out. And it was compounded by the penalty.
And I know Harrison wants to make a big play, but that is not a good decision. You take the ball out at the 25-yard line. You have good field position. Now you start deep in your own territory.
Illegal block in the back. Number 41 of the receiving team. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
6th penalty of the game against UTSA. 4 against San Jose, but 2 of those 4 were kicking it out of bounds. Ryan Polite, by and large, had a good day. Did fumble one time, which he'll regret. Starts from his own 4.5. Quick toss to Holmes. Has it at the 10 and immediately driven to the ground by Jimmy Pruitt.
And right now as an offense, you just want to get outside of your goal line. You don't want your quarterback being in the end zone receiving the snap. So that's a good positive play. Now it's time to continue to work the ball down the field and, use this as an opportunity to drive the ball down the entire football field. Everything is continuing to be a learning process for this young offense.
Crossing men in motion there, and Glasgow with the carry. Sneaks forward. It's going to be 3rd down and about a few inches, it looks like. Actually got farther than I thought. Okacha in as the running back on this 3rd and short situation. We saw them use him for short yardage earlier.
Well, I think you line up in the I formation right now and you run the ball up the middle. I don't like spreading it out right now.
Not going to happen. They fake the give. Polite wants to keep it. They're using Okacha as a blocker, and he's well short. Stopped behind the line of scrimmage. And UTSA will have to punt.
Well, that is why I said you line up in the I formation and you run the football downhill. That play took too long to develop. You allowed the bigger defense to get penetration and stop your quarterback. You have a running back that has been successful at times getting you short yardage.
Josh Ward on to punt. Ronnie Yell is giving him a lot of respect back in his own territory. And this one off the side of his foot, out of bounds, inside the 30-yard line. Not one that is going to go on the highlight reel, and San Jose State will take over at the UTSA 20. Eight yards on the kick. And that is a killer. Field position and turnovers have hurt UTSA today. And now David Fales and San Jose State going to try and take advantage one more time. Already leading 45-17 as they go after their first WAC victory of the year. Delayed give to Irvin, hit at the line of scrimmage, and then taken down. Ashad Mabry got the first shot. It looked like Eric Brown ended up making the tackle. It'll be 2nd and 8. There's a look at Irvin, who's had a big day with that kick return for a touchdown. Also a receiving touchdown today.
And it's going to be interesting to see what San Jose State does right now with the ball this close to the end zone. Will they put it up in the air?
Fails to throw here, has Chandler Jones trying to turn the corner. He's forced out by Tristan Wade, but not before picking up a first down. Fails 15 for 21. That'll actually drop his completion percentage slightly.
But he's been pretty efficient tonight.
No, I'm making a joke because 75% is phenomenal, which is right about where he is.
Yes, he's about at 73.5, maybe 74% right now, and I'm sure he may get some more completions before this ball game is over.
He'll be rooting for Geno Smith to throw a lot of incompletions tonight. And a timeout called by UTSA, their first of the second half. with San Jose State staring at 1st and goal. San Jose State, as we talked about, trying to get its first WAC win, and the schedule sets up favorably for them to be in contention for the conference title. They're home to Texas State next Saturday at Spartan Stadium, and then at Idaho, which is nobody's idea of a powerhouse this year, at New Mexico State, which this UTSA team beat handily. That would set them up for a showdown with Louisiana Tech on November 24th, where they could be playing for a share of the conference title.
And the thing about it, you talked about it, Jonathan, the tough ball games are at home for the Spartans. They need to continue to capitalize on what they've been able to do this ball game. They've been able to protect their quarterback a lot better than they did last week. And you have to wonder how this affects them moving forward. Will they continue to use the pass as comfortably as they have today?
There you see the schedule again. That BYU game is, of course, non-conference November 17th. And Louisiana Tech on November 24th. No sacks allowed, to your point, Forrest, today after the 13 last week. 1st and goal at the 6. Play action. Has Otten in the corner of the end zone. Touchdown, San Jose State. Ryan Otten, the tight end, with a touchdown catch from Fales, his 3rd touchdown throw of the day. And San Jose State is over 50 points on the game.
And Otten was double covered on this play, and Fales was still able to get the ball to him. And that shows you how efficient he is as a quarterback, putting the ball where only his receiver can make a play on it.
The most points allowed by UTSA in its brief 2-year history. As Austin Lopez prepares to add the extra point. No problem. And San Jose State, after briefly being threatened, really came up with a big play. That fumble forced by Bene Benwickery. Their defense then came up with another stop, and they are now, you would think, on cruise control for the 4th quarter.
You know, I think the fumble took the air out of this ball club. They were still in a position to make this a ball game. They were moving the football very well defensively. They had stopped San Jose State. And you see on this play, you've got the tight end double covered, but they're able to get the ball to him where only he can make a play on it. And that has to hurt a defensive ball club, knowing that they had the right defense in play. They just didn't get the job done.
The kicking game, special teams as a whole, and turnovers have really hurt UTSA today. Fumbled snap, or a high snap on one punt, an 8-yard punt on another, a kick return for a touchdown. It's not going to be Larry Coker's favorite part of the film session tomorrow.
But there's still a quarter left of football to play. And as I said earlier, you've got to see about character at this point. I don't think UTSA can make a monumental comeback and win this ball game, but you see what type of character your young ball club has right now.
Well, and they're preparing for next week because Utah State comes in. It doesn't get any easier. Utah State at home next week, at Louisiana Tech the week after that. Kenny Harrison to return, takes it at the 6. Has a seam up the middle and took a big hit on the play. Chris Hill laid out Harrison right across the 20-yard line. So here comes Polite. We should mention he was actually originally listed as the number 3 quarterback on the UTSA depth chart. Their nominal number 2, Tucker Carter, is redshirting this season if at all possible. So he'll still have 2 years of eligibility left next year. So they're going to have a lot of quarterbacks with experience come spring practice. Polite fakes the handoff here. Throw over the middle is high and tipped incomplete. And it was a good thing Grubb tipped it, or it would have been intercepted.
Dangerous, dangerous pass. You have to be precise when you throw the ball over the middle, especially with a defense that's kind of sitting back like San Jose State is doing right now.
So 2nd and 10 here as Nate Shaw, Evans Okacha check in for UTSA. That San Jose State defense, meanwhile, has picked up 2 sacks today and been active at the line of scrimmage, to say the least. Polite option to the right. Jimmy Pruitt was all over it. Stayed with his man, Evans Okacha. Took him down right at the line of scrimmage. we'll see if UTSA runs another play here with the clock running down in the third quarter, or takes us to the break. Polite looks like he wants to come to the line, facing 3rd and 11. Under pressure, lofts the screen looking for Glasgow, and he couldn't hold on to it. Travis Johnson applied the pressure, and that'll be the final play of the third quarter. San Jose State breaking it open. The Spartans 52, the UTSA Roadrunners 17. We'll be right back with fourth quarter action from the Alamo Dome in San Antonio after this.
Truckers know towing 9,000 pounds up a steep grade ain't good for your tranny. And when the heat's on, failure ain't an option. This truck's got a 6-speed aluminum tranny and a big old dedicated fluid cooler. So when it's cooking on the outside, this truck won't break a sweat. Available on the full-size Toyota Tundra.
The first look is only the beginning. Introducing a stunning work of technology. Introducing the entirely new Lexus ES and the first ever ES Hybrid. This is the pursuit of perfection.
Cool. I won again. Monopoly at McDonald's is awesome. 1 in 4 winners. Hard to beat those odds.
I can. I'm moving to San Diego.
Why?
It's the luckiest city in America. It's got the most sweepstakes winners and the fewest lightning strikes.
Doesn't matter where you are. It's still 1 in 4.
Just the same, I think I prefer San Diego.
It's the 20th edition of Monopoly at McDonald's, and 1 in 4 wins. With over $300 million in cash and great prizes, it's the most prizes ever. The simple joy of winning.
I'm your lucky team flag. I'm just holding on by a thread. If you've got cut rate insurance, you could be dealing with this mess yourself. So get Allstate.
Mayhem is everywhere. Are you in good hands?
Back here at the Alamo Dome in San Antonio, and San Jose State has bounced back in a big way. The Spartans all over UTSA 52-17. Looking for their first WAC win of the year, and UTSA set to punt. And it'll be Christian Stern stepping over to do some of the punting after Josh Ward struggled with his last kick. And Stern gets a little bit more leg behind this one. Ronnie Yell takes it at the 32 and is tripped up there, as Jeremiah Miller came flying through, the tight end, on special teams. San Jose State looking to even its WAC record. Spartans lost to Utah State in their opener last week, but if they can win today, they would go to 1-1, even with Idaho. You see UTSA likely will drop. Utah State leads New Mexico State 28-0 at halftime, one of the other games. And Louisiana Tech will get started tonight, taking on Idaho. Again, we expect Louisiana Tech, Utah State, and San Jose State to be the contenders for the conference title. So San Jose State back in more comfortable position here. Will start at its own 33. De Leon Eskridge dives forward for a couple of yards. Frankie Anaya, Ashad Mabry getting some pressure up the middle there.
As an offensive lineman, this is the part of the ball game where you like. You've got a big lead. Now you know you're going to run the ball downfield. You get to assert yourself and be a road grader. And this is what you love. This is why you play college football.
Forrest sounds ready to strap on the pads.
I'm a former offensive lineman, so
get an elevator, get you down there in time for the last couple snaps.
I get excited about this. This is square chin football right here.
Quick throw out to Chandler Jones, who took a big hit after the play from Charles Ward. clearly after the whistle. He's going to get a personal foul penalty for that.
And this is frustration starting to set in. This is a young ball club. They had high hopes. This is homecoming. They thought that they could come in and pull off the upset. And, you know, it's just frustration.
After the play, personal foul, late hit, number 2 defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Wart normally wears number 21. He moved to 2 so that Okacha could wear 21 this afternoon. And Wart likes to instigate. He got South Alabama to retaliate against him. He got a key 15-yard penalty back in the season opener, but he's been on the other side of the call here today. So San Jose State out to midfield here. Play action for Fales, rolls, looks for Grigsby, who takes a shove from Wart, and now they shake hands and say everything's okay.
It's good sportsmanship. You love that about football. You know, one play you get a bad call because you're frustrated. The next play, you know, you make a pretty good play and you guys shake hands and go back to the huddle. And that's all in sportsmanship. Like I said, this is a young ball club and this is a learning experience for them. You just have to hope that they don't allow this to, you know, linger on moving forward, because they do have a tough ball game next week, and you talked about that earlier.
Fails to throw on second down. Route jumped, and Eric Brown had it in his hands but couldn't hold on. He was battling there with Chris Carney, the wide receiver who scored a special teams touchdown earlier in the game.
And you look at Fales, he did something he hadn't done all day. He looked at his receiver the entire time, and the defensive back was able to make a play on that football.
Well, Eric Brown is a playmaker out of Converse Judson High School, that we finished high school in Arizona. 3rd in the country in interceptions right now with 4. Almost had number 5. So 3rd and 10 here as the UTSA defense tries to come up with a stop. Still starters for both teams. Fails. Pass is complete, and Brian King locks it up short of the first down mark. Daniel Bradbury the catch. And it's going to be 4th and short for San Jose State. I say mostly starters. Bradbury, one of those who's not usually a starter, getting a catch there. And San Jose State will decide to punt. Harrison Wade trots on for the Spartans. Kenny Harrison for the Roadrunners. So Wade going to try and pin UTSA in here. Early stages of the 4th quarter. Low spinning right-footed kick, and they'll let it bounce into the end zone for a touchback. San Jose State in control. We'll see what UTSA can come up with. 52-17, Spartans over the Roadrunners. Stay with us.
This is the car that loves to have fun, mile after mile, to and from. Now there are 4 for all to use, so the neighbors, your friends, everyone, the news, and let's hum, 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 let's hum. A Prius for everyone. But there's a bigger one if you want more space, a small one if the city's your place, and even one you can plug in, so hop on in and give one a spin, and let's hum, 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 let's hum. A Prius for everyone.
Introducing a reason to look twice. Introducing a stunning work of technology. The entirely new Lexus ES and the first ever ES Hybrid. This is the pursuit of perfection.
Cool. I won again. Monopoly at McDonald's is awesome. 1 in 4 winners. Hard to beat those odds.
I can. I'm moving to San Diego.
Why?
It's the luckiest city in America. It's got the most sweepstakes winners and the fewest lightning strikes.
Doesn't matter where you are. Still 1 in 4.
Just the same, I think I prefer San Diego.
It's the 20th edition of Monopoly at McDonald's, and 1 in 4 wins. With over $300 million in cash and great prizes, it's the most prizes ever. The simple joy of winning.
The 60 Seconds of Mayhem sweepstakes is back. You could win a trip to the Allstate Sugar Bowl where you'll kick for a chance to meet Kurt Herbstreit and win a ski boat, motorcycle, truck, and RV. January 2nd is going to be mayhem. Will you be there? Enter at allstatecfb.com.
San Jose State announcing itself as a WAC contender if they weren't already, with a 52-17 lead over UTSA early in the fourth quarter here at the Alamo Dome. First conference home game for UTSA and their first home game against an FBS school, and safe to say it hasn't gone the way they wanted to. The Roadrunners with a 1st and 10 at their own 20. Polite back to throw, has Jeremiah Miller, the tight end, for a 1st down. He lost the football, and it's picked up by Ben Wickery again. The 5th turnover of the night by UTSA, and that is a killer.
And once again, Ben Wickery, we continue to call his name. He has been around the ball the entire day. He has made big play after big play after big play. And you have to wonder, is he putting himself in position to be the Western Athletic Conference Defensive Player of the Week?
He's got to get consideration here.
And this is a great play by the tight end, but you've got to hold on to the football, and we've seen that often this evening. Keith Smith forces the turnover.
Keith Smith with the hit. Ben Wickery recovered. Now San Jose State will go with the backup quarterback, Joe Gray, freshman out of Inglewood in Southern California. Gives off to the senior David Freeman here. Plows forward for a couple yards. Gray, 6'2", 190-pound freshman from Dorsey High School. Has already seen some snaps this year, and we'll get a few more in this fourth quarter.
And all of the fumbles have got to be demoralizing for UTSA's offense. Kevin Brown, the offensive coordinator, has to keep those guys together.
Again, they had the best turnover margin in the country entering the game, -3 today. Another line plunge and some heavy hitting going on there. Richard Burge involved, Cody Rogers as well for UTSA, and Blake Terry may have had the first hit. Third and 6 for San Jose State here. Ina Liaina, the starting fullback, is in. Sean Linton, one of the wideouts in the ball game. Hansel Wilson, another. It's David Freeman up the middle, and he's going to be short of the 1st down. So we'll see if it's a field goal look for Austin Lopez. Richard Burge again involved with the stop.
And San Jose State has gotten their entire second-team offensive line in the ball game. So they're getting these guys an opportunity to play some football and get some good work.
They're going to go for it. 4th and 3 at the UTSA 22. I formation. Gray gives to Freeman, hit at the line. Macon is there, but he may have fallen forward and gotten the 1st down, I think. Blake Terry and Farrington Macon both met Freeman, but we'll wait and check out the spot. San Jose State coaches were helping our officiating crew check it out, but I think the officials want to see for themselves. So we'll get a measurement here. Mike McIntyre, 3rd season at San Jose State, trying to get them to a bowl game for the first time since 2006. Oh, that is tight. And that is a 1st down by literally the nose of the football. So this win does not count as a win over an FBS team for bowl eligibility, but it'll keep them well over 500, give them a good chance to go a bowl game. Forrest, they've righted the ship exactly what they set out to do.
Well, they've protected their quarterback. They've asserted themselves, and they've played with a chip on their shoulder the entire ball game.
That sounds familiar. That sounds like our keys to the game.
Hey, offensively, you've got to be very happy right now if you're Coach McIntyre.
Not so much on that play. Fumbled snap, kicked backwards, And it's still loose. Picked up by the Roadrunners, Stephen Kerfis. Can he get to the end zone? Touchdown, UTSA.
And that's great for this UTSA defense because I think they played their heart out tonight. Today. They've had some poor plays, but they've also had some very good plays. And those guys did not let down. They continued to play hard. So I'm happy for that defense. I'm happy for that young man because he kept his head in the ball game.
It looked like San Jose State tried to fall on the football and just couldn't get it cleanly.
It was a poor snap to begin with, and the third string tailback could not get his hands on the football. And you saw Kerfis pick it up, and he continued to play. And you saw the defensive back get up and make a block, which allowed him to get to the end zone.
Christian Stern to add the extra point. No trouble. And UTSA has something more to cheer about. 52-24. San Jose State will get it back when we come back. Spartans 52, Roadrunners 24.
Power was very important to me. We test drove the Camry, took it on the freeway, and it was just like, this was the car for me.
It had stuff that guys liked, like the rims and the sleekness to the body, and then had the Bluetooth and the navigation that Diane really wanted.
And it was an SE, so it felt really grounded to the ground.
Grounded to the ground?
Yes, grounded to the ground.
See their story and more at the Camry Effect. Camry from Toyota.
Introducing a reason to look twice. Introducing a stunning work of technology. The entirely new Lexus ES and the first ever ES Hybrid. This is the pursuit of perfection.
Cool. I won again. Monopoly at McDonald's is awesome. 1 in 4 winners. Hard to beat those odds.
I can. I'm moving to San Diego.
Why?
It's the luckiest city in America. It's got the most sweepstakes winners and the fewest lightning strikes.
Doesn't matter where you are. It's still 1 in 4.
Just the same, I think I prefer San Diego.
It's the 20th edition of Monopoly at McDonald's, and 1 in 4 wins. With over $300 million in cash and great prizes, it's the most prizes ever. The simple joy of winning.
At Transamerica, we're making tomorrows people can count on.
Your husband put this all together when Emma was born. He was an amazing man. This is for you. It's all paid off.
Transamerica. Transform tomorrow.
Welcome back to the Alamo Dome. Great Saturday of college football and plenty of points on the board in this one. Stephen Kerfis got the most recent ones, returning a bad snap all the way for a touchdown. It's 52-24. We've had 3 touchdowns directly off of turnovers or returns of some kind. We've had 8 turnovers in the game. And San Jose State, the favorite, on top, 52-24. Parker Cundiff to kick off. San Jose State expecting an onside kick, only 1 man deep. Taken at the 21 by Irvin again. He's already got 1 kick return for a touchdown today and 3 for his career. And he gets out near midfield. Tyler Irvin, a receiving touchdown, a return touchdown. He was already WAC Special Teams Player of the Week once this year when he scored against San Diego State. Might be named it again.
Well, I'm interested to see what the defense does. They've played a pretty decent ball game. They've had some letdowns on some big plays, but they've played some consistent football at times. And I want to see how they respond to the big play that they just made. Got some second teamers in also for UTSA on defense.
Joe Gray still at quarterback. It's David Freeman again on the carry. He's got some room left side. And eventually hit by Kerfis right at the first down marker. David Freeman, philosophy major, volunteers with Habitat for Humanity in the summers, wants to be a lawyer. So he's going to be doing okay for himself. They do give him the first down on the play at the UTSA 42, just inside the 42. Freeman again. This time the center of the line does not budge at the 40. Still be a slight gain on the play. Cody Rogers, Blake Terry again, Ashad Mabry. We've called all of their names tonight. As you look at Rogers, he's out of Brandeis High School, converted linebacker. They moved him to defensive end. He is basically pure aggression is what he's all about.
Well, he's what I call a square chin player. He's one of those old school throwback guys that just loves to play football.
Gray play action this time. And the catch is made by Linton on the near side, knocked out of bounds by Tristan Wade. Short of the first down. It'll be third and a short 4 for San Jose State. Well, actually, called a short 5.
And if you're this second team San Jose State offense, you want to score the football. You want to get a score. You want to show that you're capable of moving the ball down the field. So when the time presents itself for you to step into the ball game with the starters, you're ready to go.
7-man line for the Spartans. Lost the snap, and Gray just falls on it in the backfield. Richard Burge got to him first, and that'll bring up 4th down.
And I'm sure David Peterson, the second string center, is going to hear a lot about these fumbled snaps and these bad snaps. You've got to do a better job. You always have to remember, as a second team player, you're an ankle sprain away from being in the ball game. So this is a time to get some good work in. And I am sure the offensive line coach is going to be talking to him about doing a better job.
The offense will head to the sideline as they let the play clock run down, and looks like they took the delay of game penalty. They'll give Harrison Wade 5 more yards to practice his pooch punting. As you look at Fales on the headset on the sideline, his mission accomplished for the day. Harrison Wade on the watch list for the Ray Guy Award, the nation's best punter. And Aaron Grubb is back deep to receive, the freshman walk-on from Lavernia, Texas, for UTSA. Low bouncer. And he's going to have to let it go, and it's caught inside the 10-yard line. I thought San Jose State might let that bounce a little deeper inside the 10, but mission accomplished, so to speak.
Yeah, I thought it would have also let that ball bounce a little bit deeper. I guess he wanted to make sure it didn't bounce into the end zone. But that's a great play. You talked about practicing pooch punting, and you saw a great pooch punt right there.
Ryan Polite still in there for UTSA. John Simmons is the backup today. I don't know if we're going to see him for any snaps, as the Roadrunners start at their own 9-yard line. Still mostly starters out there. Delayed handoff up the middle to Glasgow. He fights his way forward out to the 14-yard line. Glasgow out of Wagner High School in the San Antonio area. His father was standout San Antonio High School star as well. Shotgun formation on 2nd down for Polite. Dumps it over the middle to Grubb. He's the speed merchant trying to make a big play, and he gets the first down and more out across the 25-yard line. His older brother Seth is on special teams as the holder, and Aaron has really started to make an impact on the offense this year.
Well, I've been very impressed with Aaron Grubb because when he gets the ball, he makes something happen. He continues to stretch this play. He stops, he makes a fake, he stretches, he stops, he makes another fake, he stretches. He gets positive yards every time he touches the football. He's a guy, if I'm on the UTSA offensive coaching staff, that I want to get more involved.
1st and 10, Polite throws outside off the mark, looking for Armstrong. And it's incomplete. UTSA has 4 of its final 6 games at home. And aside from the game against McNeese State, they're all against FBS schools. So this is really the meat of their schedule, playing 8 FBS teams this year. 2 from the FCS, 1 NAIA, 1 Division II, and they've already gotten those out of the way. So this likely will drop them to 2-2 against FBS teams on the year. Okacha on the carry out near the 30-yard line. I beg your pardon, it was Glasgow. And that'll bring up 3rd and 8. You have to think 4-4 against the FBS schools on their schedule would be acceptable for Larry Coker. You still have Idaho and Texas State, which you feel are very winnable games. Utah State and Louisiana Tech, they'll be decided underdogs.
Well, Idaho will be a tough ball game because it's in a dome at Idaho, so that's something to be concerned about. You know, teams playing in away games in domes have a difficult time sometimes winning those ball games because of the noise factor.
Cole Hubble with the catch over the middle. He has a first down, keeps going across midfield.
And I like what he did when he saw and felt the contact. He cradled the ball with both hands to make sure he did not fumble. This is some good work for the young quarterback, Polite. He finds Hubble coming across on a short crossing route. Watch Hubble when he sees and feels pressure. He covers the ball up.
Redshirt sophomore out of Bandera High School. Another guy who was recruited as a quarterback and has found a home at tight end. Polite got the line to jump. Flag flies. He wants to go deep for Bias. Catch is made. Another first down. There's taking advantage of the penalty for us.
And that is what you have to do on free plays. Throw the ball up and let your receiver go up and try and make a play on it. And you saw the receiver.
Number 96 defense. Penalties decline. The play results in a first down.
4th catch of the day for Kenny Bias. He only had 132 receiving yards on the season. And he's up around the 100 mark this afternoon.
And he located the ball at its highest point on that play. And that's what you want your receivers to do.
Polite looking for Armstrong over the middle. The jitterbug back. And he'll pick up 3 on the play to the 31-yard line as the clock goes under 5 minutes. These two teams might be the only meeting between them. Next year, San Jose State goes to the Mountain West Conference. UTSA goes to Conference USA. And it'll be interesting to see how both of them do in their new digs. Still may take UTSA a couple years to get up to speed. They'll be at a full scholarship allotment next year. Still under 70 scholarships this year. Polite going to keep this himself up the middle, finds running room, and goes down inside the 10-yard line. There's that burst of speed they were looking for.
And I am very impressed with Polite. He's a young quarterback, but he has made a lot of positive plays. And if you're this UTSA coaching staff, you've got to feel good about this young man moving forward with your offense. He takes no time. He sees an opening, and he gets north and south, and he rumbles down the field.
Down to the 9-yard line on that play as UTSA tries to find the end zone again and get over 30 points. Looks outside for Marcellus Mack. He held on to the ball, didn't get in the end zone, but got very close. And it'll bring up 2nd and goal.
And that is real good concentration by Mack. He bobbled the ball a little bit, but he was able to gain control of it before the defensive player got to him and was able to knock it out of his hands.
Mack from Giddings, Texas, with the catch there to get the ball down to the 2-yard line. Glasgow and Okacha both in the ball game, and Okacha got the carry and was taken down behind the line of scrimmage by Vincent Abbott, senior from Long Beach Lakewood. And it'll bring up 3rd and goal back at the 6.
Well, I think the mistake they made was going east and west on that play as opposed to north and south. You've got to go north and south. You're still playing against a penetrating defense, albeit it's the second team. They're still bigger, and they're penetrating, and you will not get positive yards going east and west.
Okacha the lone back. Grubb in motion left to right. They throw for Cam Jones over the middle. Couldn't hold on to it. Took a big hit and let the ball come loose.
I think Cam knew he was going to get hit on that play, and he was more concerned about the contact as opposed to making the catch.
Cullen Newsome with the hit. We've seen him deliver a couple of blows today. And Cam Jones, hands on his hips, not happy with himself there. 4th and goal. And UTSA is going to go for it here. Hubble, the tight end in motion. They're going to lob it up for Bias. Intercepted. Ben Wickery again. And he wants to return it as well. Takes a hit out to the 30-yard line. Polite just didn't get anything on that pass. And Ben Wickery took advantage. San Jose State denies UTSA once again. The Spartans on cruise control up 52-24. We'll come right back as they try to finish it off.
Power was very important to me. We test drove the Camry, took it on the freeway, and it was just like, this was the car for me.
It had stuff that guys liked, like the rims and the sleekness to the body, and then had the Bluetooth and the navigation that Diane really wanted.
And it was an SE, so it felt really grounded to the ground.
Grounded to the ground?
Yes, grounded to the ground.
See their story and more at the Camry Effect. Camry from Toyota.
Cool. I won again. Monopoly at McDonald's is awesome. 1 in 4 winners. Hard to beat those odds.
I can. I'm moving to San Diego.
Why?
It's the luckiest city in America. It's got the most sweepstakes winners and the fewest lightning strikes.
Doesn't matter where you are. Still 1 in 4.
Just the same, I think I prefer San Diego.
It's the 20th edition of Monopoly at McDonald's, and 1 in 4 wins. With over $300 million in cash and great prizes, it's the most prizes ever. The simple joy of winning.
The first look is only the beginning. Introducing a stunning work of technology. Introducing the entirely new Lexus ES and the first ever ES Hybrid. This is the pursuit of perfection.
The Johnsons, right?
Yeah. Which house is yours?
The one with the Silverado out front.
What do you do?
Well...
And Bingo was his name.
From worksite to home front, Chevy runs deep.
Back here at the Alamo Dome, San Jose State in control, 52-24 over UTSA. 6 turnovers forced by San Jose State, and that has been part of the difference between these two teams today. David Freeman, the carry for the Spartans, dives forward for a couple of yards. And one of the big names we've been talking about for San Jose State, one of the fun names, Ben Wickery, 11 tackles, 2 for loss, an interception, and a fumble recovery, and he's Forrest's early favorite for WAC Defensive Player of the Week.
Well, he has been all over the field. He has made plays every time we've seen to talk about San Jose State's defense. He's been the name that we've called.
2nd and 8 here for the Spartan offense. Freeman again straight ahead, takes a hit. Cody Berry hit him first, and Charles Wart joined in to stop him at the 35-yard line. Under 2 minutes to play in this 4th quarter. San Jose State going to improve to 5-2, even its record 1-1 in WAC play. And UTSA going to drop to 5-2, 1-1 in the WAC, and one of the reasons was that man, Ben Wickery, who certainly has to be in the discussion for player of the game, and again, dyed that hair pink in honor of Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Well, he's made everyone aware of who he is also with his play today, so I am sure that people will be watching for him moving forward.
Freeman up the middle again and pulled back by Drew Douglas, the reserve linebacker in there for UTSA. It'll bring a 4th down.
And we talked earlier, Jonathan, about players stepping up when their number's called, and we've seen that from Ben Wickery this evening. He stepped up to the plate. He's had the opportunity to play a little bit more, and he's made plays all over the field.
Harrison Wade on to punt yet again. Aaron Grubb back to receive again. This one is high and sends Grubb backward. Fields it over his shoulder at the 6. Gets away from one man and steps out of bounds at the 15. Pretty nice job by Aaron Grubb to handle that one. Dangerous play to catch it over his shoulder like that. And now UTSA will take over. Waiting to see where they spot it. And Polite's going to stay in there and finish this one. Ryan Polite, 19 of 30 on the day, 2 touchdowns, the 1 interception at the end of that last drive, but overall a lot positive in his first start despite the score. He's not going to feel great about it, but it's definitely something to build on.
Well, I'm very impressed with him. I thought he made good decisions moving forward. I thought he got into a rhythm as the game went along, and he has a positive and a very bright future with this UTSA program.
Give goes up the middle here, and trying to create some space on the outside is Brian Vaughn, and he's out near midfield with his first carry of the day. We saw him get in the game earlier. This time he gets his hands on the football.
Well, Brian Vaughn is making a case for more playing time next week. With that play, you see him get to the outside, and he turns on the burners and gets up the field.
Switches the football to the outside hand. No complaints there.
And those are the little intangibles that you like to see from your ball carriers.
Polite to throw one more time. Goes short to Sherrod Simpson. And he's down to the San Jose State 46. And that's going to do it on our ball game this afternoon. San Jose State came here with a point to prove. After dropping its WAC opener last week, they do just that, emphatically 52-24 over UTSA. Still adjusting to life at the FBS level, but showing signs of promise. 6 turnovers for the Spartans. They make it pay off in terms of points. They also got the kick return for a touchdown. Forrest, they were clearly the better team. How far can San Jose State go?
Well, as far as their offensive line takes them, you saw tonight they protected Fales very well. He did not get touched after getting sacked 13 times last week. So I think that is key for them moving forward. If you protect your quarterback, he will lead you to the promised land.
San Jose State goes to 5-2, 1-1 in WAC play. Mike McIntyre will have a happy flight home after this one. That's going to do it for us from the Alamo Dome. For everyone involved in our broadcast, down up in the truck, up here with us. For my partner, Forrest Connolly, I'm Jonathan Yardley. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. San Jose State all over UTSA, 52-24, and they're back in contention for the WAC title. Good night.